Let's come.
Yes, sir.
Good evening and welcome to Byju's exam prep. Am I audible and visible? Am I audible and visible? Right. Let some more people join in and then I'll begin. My voice is not clear. The audio is cracking. Sumo says, what about others? What about others? They're saying that they are facing the same problem. Sumo, others are not facing any problem. It's cracking. Maybe there's a problem from your end. Please check it up. Is it clear now? Okay, it's cracking. Okay, just hold on. Good evening and welcome to Byju's IAS. Am I audible? Is it clear now? Any problem in the transmission of the voice? It's clear? Ankush, what about you? Can I start the class? Am I audible? Sudhanshu? Now, how is the voice? Yogita, Sudhanshu, is it clear, loud and clear? Thank you. Close the door. Right. So, yesterday I finished with the topic Indian painting and I began with uh, religious movements or religious reforms during the medieval period, basically Bhakti movement. So once I finish Bhakti movement, I'll start with Sufi movement today. I gave you a broad idea about what this movement is about. What is Bhakti? The three constants of Bhakti. That is, Bhakti is pure devotion or unadulterated devotion to a chosen deity. Then it also includes prapatti, that is total surrender, and of course nishkama karma, that is worshipping God without any selfish motive or interest. So these are the three constants of bhakti. I told you there were a number of corruptions in our society and religion from ancient times, and all of you participated in this discussion yesterday. You gave me many corruptions both in our society and religion. And these reformers, both the Bhakti and the Sufi reformers, try to eradicate those evils in our society and religion. But to a large extent, they failed. They tried sincerely, but they failed. Now, why they failed, we will come to that later. Why they failed, we will analyze that. UPSC had asked a question in the mains as to why the reforms or the corruptions which were pointed out by these saints failed to bring about changes in our society and religion. So, what is the main reason for that? That's what they've asked. We will discuss about it later once we finish this topic. So, a number of corruptions existed from ancient times. down into modern times, both in our society and religion. We have looked at some of the corruptions like sati, dowry, untouchability, caste system, the exploitation of women, women being denied property rights, education rights, child marriages, then female infanticide, dowry, right? And of course, in the religion, we have corruptions like the domination of the priestly classes. Religion had become complicated because of emphasis on elaborate rituals and sacrifices. The scriptures, the holy scriptures, had been distorted by the priestly classes to serve their own or to serve their own selfish interests, selfish motives, etc. So all these corruptions existed from ancient times, but only in the modern period, that is during the 19th century, we have a number of reform movements took place. A number of reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his organization, the Brahma Samaj, the Arya Samaj of Swami Dhananda Saraswati, uh, the Ramakrishna Mission, Swami Vivekananda, and other reformers, not only in the Hindu religion, but also in other religions like Islam, Parsi religion, Sikh religion. So they try to eradicate all these evils which existed in our society and religion. Of course, the main reason why they started doing that was because a handful of Britishers had begun to rule this huge country of ours, and they felt inferior. The social reformers, the social religious reformers felt inferior. They said that there must be some inherent defects in our society and religion that has enabled the British, a handful of British, to rule over us, and that led to a lot of questioning, introspection among these reformers, and that is why these reform movements started. You study that as part of modern India. And of course, we have a number of British officers, governor generals, government, the company government, and also later the British Parliament when it took over the administration of this country. They brought about a number of reforms. They legalized many of the measures they had taken. They banned sati. They banned human sacrifice. Human sacrifice was performed by some of the tribes, like the Gonds of Adilabad district, Andhra, and the Khons of Orissa. So Khons and Gonds used to perform human sacrifice, hook swinging. So you have a hook which was attached to a person's back, near the neck, and that person was suspended in the air. That's called hook swinging. Even the children were thrown from heights as part of a ritual to appease a particular god or goddess. So then children were thrown on a haystack or on a huge bundle of clothes, and in many times accidents happened where the child died. So all these practices existed in our society. Hook swinging, bloodletting, that is, you take a whip and you start hammering or you start whipping your naked body and the blood is oozing out. So all these practices existed in our society in ancient times. And the British officers, they brought about a number of reforms, coupled with the pressure exerted by these reformers, right? So that's what you need to understand. But then we'll come back here. Have discussed about Bhakti movement briefly. Bhakti movement consists of two movements basically, Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna is God with human attributes, that is idol worship, whereas Nirguna is God without any guna, that is formless God. So both existed in our country from ancient times. The worship of a formless God, even before the coming of Islam, we have the worship of a formless God in this country. And of course, we have Saguna worship, which was worship of idols, images. Saguna worship was more popular in South India, whereas Nirguna worship was popular in North India. Okay, so we'll talk about it. What are the aspects of bhakti? Various aspects of bhakti. So they rejected rituals. So they it rejected the rituals and focus was on bhakti. Opposed social religious discrimination in our society and religion. Importance was given to monotheism, Saguna Bhakti or Nirguna Bhakti. Then, of course, use of regional or local languages. So, one of the positive aspects of this reform movement, Bhakti movement, is these Bhakti saints spoke in the regional languages. They gave their teachings, messages in regional languages, vernacular languages, and that led to the enrichment of these languages. Then, of course, Bhakti gave importance to the following aspects: devotion, that is Bhakti, then religious harmony. It also led to social equality, gender equality. So all these were some of the aspects given importance by so-called bhakti. Right now, let us look at the important bhakti saints of South India. First of all, Vishishta Advaita, the philosophy given by Ramanujacharya. So we will look at the important bhakti saints of South India, and then we go to North India, Ramananda, Kabir, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Dadu Dayal, etc. So let me make a survey of this. So as I told you yesterday, bhakti as a concept existed way back in our scriptures in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. We have the concept of bhakti mentioned. The word bhakti is from the word bhaj. The word bhakti is derived from the word bhaj. What is the meaning of bhaj? Bhaj means to adore. I think I told you yesterday, bhaj means to adore. To adore. So that's where the word bhakti comes from the word bhaj. And it is mentioned in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, the Bhagavata Purana, the Bhagavad Gita. In all these scriptures, we get the reference to bhakti as such. And it began in South India. We have seen that in the Pallava period, in the 6th and 7th century AD, under the Alvars and the Nayanars. The Alvars were the Vaishnava saints, and the Nayanars were the Shaiva saints of Tamil Nadu. So that's where the Bhakti movement began. And by the 11th century, it entered North India. And by the 14th and 15th century, it became a very popular movement in North India. Right? And these Bhakti saints of Tamil Nadu, they spoke about religious equality, religious egalitarianism, rejected orthodoxy and rituals and clashed with the orthodox Brahmins. Right? It flourished during the Pallava period. So there were two forms. There are two types of Bhakti movement: Saguna movement and Nirguna movement. Right? And so you see, in Saguna movement is pretty popular in South India. That is worship of idols. And not that it was not popular in North, it was also popular, but then more popular in the South. Nirguna mostly found in the North. So that's what it is. And of course, among Hinduism or Brahmanism, we have two sects, Vaishnavism and Shaivism. Vaishnavism is slightly more popular than Shaivism. Shaivism is more popular in South India. So we have within Vaishnavism two movements, Rama Marga and Krishna Marga. That is worship of Rama and Krishna. So basically, they were monotheistic in nature. Within Vaishnavism, we have either worship of Rama or Krishna. In that sense, monotheistic. And of course, you have Rama is worshipped along with his consort Sita, and of course Krishna with Radha. So they are always worshipped together. Rama with Sita, Krishna with Radha. Right? Now, let's look at the important Bhakti saints, Ramanujacharya, Madhva, Nimbaraka, Vallabha, etc. And then I gave you some extra information. I sent it to you yesterday. I think if you have checked your mail, it is there. Some extra information on Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and Basaveshwara and his Veera Shaivism. Have you gone through it? Hello, all of you. So I have given you some extra information. Ankush, please mail me. I'll not be able to solve your problem because this is taken care by the technical team, right? So please mail me and the target IS or whatever mail address you've been given for such problems. So please mail me also. Put me in CC and I'll forward it to the concerned people after the class. Right? So please do that. Ankush, did you get me that? So I have given extra information. I have sent extra information, and I was told it has been shared. It must be on the app, I suppose, BP on the app, or just check it up, please. Yesterday's class. So yesterday's in the Indian Express, I was talking about many of the paintings of the Mughal period, where we have Christian paintings. I told you Akbar. Jaswant is asking me which article of Indian Express. I don't remember the title of that article, Jaswant. But please refer to the Indian Express newspaper. It is there. Yesterday's newspaper, right? So you have a number of paintings given there in the newspaper, and I was not able to read the article even today. Yesterday also I could not read it. Right? Okay, right? You please look into it. Okay, now let's come back here. Um, let us look at these Bhakti saints. First of all, of South India, Virupaksha temple at Hampi collapsed. Is it? I don't know. I have not come. I have not seen that news, Bimre. Anyway, we'll focus on the class as of now. We will discuss these things later. So let's look at the important saints. On your screen, you see this is the statue of Ramanuja. It is called the Statue of Equality. It's on the outskirts of Hyderabad. This is, I think, 200, more than 200 feet in height. More than 200 feet. I think it's 218 feet or so in height. The statue of Ramanuja. This is on the outskirts of Hyderabad city at a place called Munchintal, right? So, so statue of equality of Ramanuja. Now, let us talk about Ramanujacharya. So, important Bhakti saints, basically factual information. But anyway, let us run through it. Important aspects of these Bhakti saints. Ramanujacharya. They also ask you questions like arrange the following Bhakti saints in a sequential order. So, I have put whatever PPTs I have put here. It is in a sequential order. Particularly the South Indian Bhakti saints, Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, then Nimbaraka, Vallabhacharya. That is a sequence in which they appear. So Ramanujacharya operated in the 11th and the 12th century, as you can see, 11th and the 12th century. So he was a Bhakti saint, first Bhakti saint, considered to be the first Bhakti saint, born at Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu. Sri Perumbudur is the place where the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. So that is the place Sri Perumbudur, just on the outskirts of Chennai, you get it. So he was born at that place called Sri Perumbudur. He is called Yatiraja. He studied at Kanchipuram, and his guru was Yadava Prakasha. He studied at Kanchipuram. Kanchi had a Gatika there. Gatika is a school. Gatika is a school or a college attached to a temple. So that's a education institution. A school attached to a temple is called Gatika. Attached to a temple. So it's popular during the Pallava period, Gatikas. So he studied in that Gatika at Kanchipuram, and his guru was Yadava Prakasha. He had differences with his guru because Yadava Prakasha, his guru, was a believer in Shankara's Advaita philosophy, and Ramanuja did not believe in that philosophy of Shankaracharya. So he left his guru, and then later you have a person called Yamunacharya. So he appointed Ramanujacharya, as the head of the Srirangam Mutt. Right now, this was the period. So he became the head of the Srirangam Mutt, Srirangam in Tamil Nadu. Srirangam is on an island where we have the river Kaveri and the Kolladam. The two rivers meet around that island, and that island is formed by two rivers, Kolladam and Kaveri. So he became the head of the Srirangam Mutt. And of course, we have during that period the Chola rule. Cholas were ruling Tamil Nadu, that area, and we have the persecution of the Vaishnavas by the Shaivas. So this was the rule of Kulatunga the first. So we have discussed Chola period. So Ramanuja had to escape from Tamil Nadu, from the Chola kingdom, and he came running to present region of Karnataka, to a place called Melukote. So Karnataka, during those areas, southern parts of Karnataka, were ruled by the Hoysalas. So the Hoysala king was Vishnuvardhana, the greatest of the Hoysalas. So he took shelter in the present region of Karnataka. He makes Melukote a place near Mysore, his headquarters, and he established a mutt there. So he established a Vaishnava mutt at a place called Melukote, near to Mysore, and he stayed at Melukote for about 20 years. And only after the death of Kulatunga, the first Chola, he went back to the Tamil country. So Ramanujacharya is the founder of the Sri Vaishnava sect, and his followers are called Sri Vaishnavas. He founded this philosophy called Vishishta Advaita. So we know this. He founded this philosophy called Vishishta Advaita and founded a sect called Sri Vaishnava sect. Right now, what is his teaching? He says that God is real, Paramatma is real, right? And then the Atma and the Jiva, that is the soul and the world, are dependent upon him. So Jiva and Jagat is dependent upon God. God is real. Paramatma is real. And how do you, realize God? Through bhakti, to pray to God, worship Him with unadulterated devotion, pure devotion. And he feels, Ramanuja felt that the best way to reach Vishnu or realize Vishnu is through his wife, that is Lakshmi. So he calls upon his followers to pray to Sri. Sri is Lakshmi, because that is the best shortcut to realize Vishnu. We'll come to that. So Ramanuja did not make any distinction between high and low, between caste and gotra and such things. So male, female, gotra, pravara, man, woman. So he did not make any distinctions regarding these things. And he proposed Bhakti Marga for attaining moksha. Bhakti Marga to attain moksha, right? So there are two elements of Bhakti Marga according to Ramanuja. You have Prapatti, that is total surrender to God, and Acharya Abhimana, that is surrendering to a guru. So he feels it is necessary to have a guru. And he gave importance to the worship of Sri, that is goddess Lakshmi, who is considered to be a mediator between humans and Vishnu. And he condemned Mayavada of Shankaracharya, the illusion, what Shankara called as illusion, right? You remember, God, what did Shankara say? Brahma is the only reality. All the other things is a construct of your mind or illusion, Maya. So Ramanujacharya condemned this Mayavada of Shankaracharya. He called the untouchables as Tirukulathar or Harikula. That is, belonging to Hari, the Kula of Hari, the Kula of Hari. And he also gave Diksha to the Antyajas, that is the lowest caste. Diksha is what? Initiation into monkhood, sannyasa. Diksha is initiation into sannyasi. So, initiating a person into sannyasa. Right? Somebody wants to become a sannyasi, or become a brahmachari. Then that is called diksha, giving diksha. So he even gave diksha to the antyajas, the lowest caste, right? And he wrote many books. These are the many books he wrote. Vedanta Sangraha. In this book, he condemned Mayavada of Shankaracharya, Vedanta Sangraha, Vedanta Sara, Vedanta Sutras, Gita Bhashya. So these are the books written by Ramanujacharya. This is about Ramanujacharya. Bhimare, I don't know what you're talking. I have not come across. I could not read today's newspaper because I was very busy. Virupaksha temple at Hampi collapsed. You're asking me a question, or you're telling me that? Bhimare, I have not come across any news like that. But in today's newspaper, I have not read it. But then I don't think it is collapsed. It is very much intact. Virupaksha temple at Hampi. Unless today's newspaper tells it. Okay. So this is about Ramanujacharya. Clear? Hello, all of you. So you might get some points in even Nitin Singhania's book. Please go through it. Right? No, it is not. It is not. Virupaksha temple, I have never said anywhere that it is collapsed. Virupaksha temple, it very much exists. Right. Then we come to Madhvacharya. So, I have given you extra points here. You can go through it, whatever in yellow background about Ramanujacharya. Some extra information is there for your clarity. You can please go through it. Right? Then Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya comes next. He lived in the 13th and the early part of the 14th century. Madhvacharya, he was from Karnataka, at a place called Sringeri in Karnataka. You remember, Shankaracharya established the first mutt. Out of the 4 mutts Shankaracharya is supposed to have established, the first mutt was in Karnataka, the Sharada mutt at Sringeri in Karnataka. So Madhvacharya was born at Sringeri. His philosophy is called Dvaita. What is Dvaitavada? Dvaitavada is God and God's creation are separate. You cannot say both are the same. Like Shankara had said, God and God's creation are one and the same. Madhva differed from Shankara. He said God and God's creation are separate. You cannot say both are the same. That's called dualism or Dvaitavada, also called Tattvavada, right? So according to this philosophy, there are 3 entities. One is, you see on your screen, one is God, Paramatma. The other is Jiva, Jivatma or Chetana, that is soul. And the third is Jada, matter or universe. So these 3, there are 3 entities: God, then soul, Atma, that is Jiva, and universe. So Jivatma and Paramatma are different entities. That is God and God's creation. God and Jiva are separate. And there are 5 fundamental differences between these 3, according to Madhvacharya. You see here on your screen, what are the differences? There is difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. That is, Jiva and God. Then Paramatma and Jada. That is, God and universe or matter. Jivatma and Jada. That is, Jivatma and Jada. That is, Jivatma and universe. then one Jivatma and another Jivatma, and one Jada and with another Jada. So these are the various differences which exist according to Madhva. And we have a person called Vyasaraya. So Vyasaraya was a person who was contemporary to Vijayanagar kingdom. He lived during the period of Krishnadevaraya, Vyasaraya. So Vyasaraya was the guru. He was the guru of Sri Krishnadevaraya, the king of Vijayanagar. The guru of Sri Krishnadevaraya was Vyasaraya. So Vyasaraya systematized the Dvaita philosophy. So according to Vyasaraya, God is Parabrahma. God, that is Hari himself is Parabrahma, right? Supreme. Jada, that is universe is real. So just as God is real, universe is also real. There's difference between Jivatma and Paramatma, that is human beings and Paramatma. All Jivatmas are followers of Hari. Among these Jivatmas, there is distinction between high and low. So you can have a more evolved Jivatma and a less evolved Jivatma. Okay? Like for example, there's a criminal, a murderer who is a lower Jivatma compared to all of us who are doing some studies, that come when compared to a criminal. So there's distinction between high and low. And pure devotion is the only path for salvation. So he also spoke about Bhakti Marga, Madhvacharya. Then, so along with these 6 principles, 3 more are added. That's called Navaratnas, right? And he said Vishnu is the highest God. So his philosophy led to the development of Kannada literature, that is called Dasa Sahitya. Dasa Sahitya, which is basically enriching Kannada literature. Dasa Sahitya, right? And he criticized Buddhism and Jainism, and also 21 Indian scholars. And Bhakti Marga is the path of salvation. Now he brought 2 statues or idols from Dwarka. One he installed in Sri Krishna temple at Udupi, and the other Balarama statue was installed in Malpe. Now, and has anybody been to the Krishna temple at Udupi in Karnataka? Okay, thank you, Sumo. Thank you. I have not read the today's newspaper, Bhimare. That's why we'll talk about it later. Let us not digress. So, has anybody been to Udupi in Karnataka? Udupi? Nobody. Okay, Udupi in Karnataka. There's a famous Krishna temple here. So, since we are doing Bhakti movement here, since we are doing Bhakti movement, I'll tell you a story, right? And this is a true story. And yeah, you're gone to Jagannath. Great. So this is a true story. In this context, I'll tell you a story. What is the story? There's a very famous Krishna temple in Udupi, in Karnataka. Udupi is on the coast, right? So there's a very famous Krishna temple there. Very famous Krishna temple. And during during the medieval times, there was a saint. His name was Kanakadasa. Kanakadasa, right? And he was belonging to the lower caste. Since Saint Kanakadasa was a lower caste person, he was not allowed into the temples by the Brahmins, right? By the Brahmin class, because he was belonging to the lower caste. So so the puja was going on, the arati and the rituals were going on in the temple. So what did Kanakadasa do? He went behind the temple. So outside, he went behind the temple and he stood before, just behind the sanctum sanctorum, where God's back is there. He said he stood before that, behind the sanctum sanctorum, and he began to pray to Krishna. Now you will not believe it. If you go there, you'll know. You see, what happened is, God, that idol, took a 180-degree turn. The idol of Krishna took a 180-degree turn, and there was a breach in the wall. There was a hole in the wall, right? And then Krishna gave darshan to Kanakadasa. He turned his back against the priestly classes there, which means to say that Krishna was, only looking for pure devotion or bhakti. So in this context, you see, this is the Krishna idol which he is supposed to have brought from Dwarka, and he installed that idol in the Udupi Sri Krishna temple. So if you go now to the temple, you'll be amazed. You enter the you enter the temple to the main door, and you're walking towards the sanctum sanctorum, and what do you see? It is blocked, and you have to go, to the back of the temple, and then take the darshan of the Lord, and then get away, because the idol remains like that. The idol remains like that because the idol has turned 180 degrees and because of this particular event which happened sometime in the medieval times. Kanakadasa lived in the Vijayanagar period. Yeah, he lived in the Vijayanagar period. So that's what it is. Okay, so we come back here. So and of course, Lord Balarama, the elder brother of Krishna's statue, was installed at Malpe. Malpe is again in Karnataka on the coast. Then Madhvacharya established 8 mutts. These are called Ashtamats. These are located in Udupi and Karnataka. All are located in Karnataka. And I have given you the list of these mutts. Sode, Shiruru, Kaniuru, Tejavara, Palimaru, Adamaru, Krishnapura, Puttige. So these are the 8 mutts established by him. The main duty of these mutts is to worship Udupi Sri Krishna, right? And he wrote 37 books in Sanskrit like this. You see on your screen, I put in a sequential order. I've tried to see that the words are overlapping so that you'll not have difficulty in remembering. Gita Tatparna Nirnaya, Mahabharata Tatparna Nirnaya. You see here? So you remember Gita, then Mahabharata. You remember 2 books already. Gita Tatparya Nirnaya, Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, Vishnu Tattva Nirnaya, then Gita Bhashya, Bhashya Anubhashya, Mayavada Khandana, Brahma Sutra, Dodasha Stotra. These are the books written by Madhvacharya. Right? No, it is still, the Krishna had turned to give darshan to Kanakadas, Ankush. It remains like that. It remains like that. So when you enter the temple with all the sculpture, etc., you see there, you have to go behind the temple and take darshan of the Lord and go away. Yeah, it is true. Ankush, it is true. And the evidence is there in the Krishna temple. You can go on YouTube, and probably you can go and see later at leisure. Okay, we'll move on here. Then Nimbaraka. Nimbaraka. So he gave the philosophy of Dvaita Advaita. That is what he called Veda Abeda. Dvaita is, dualism of Madhva. That is God and God's creation are separate. And Advaita is monism of Shankara. Both are there according to Nimbaraka. And he wrote, so he was a Telugu from Andhra Pradesh, Nimbaraka, devotee of Radha Krishna. And he wrote a book called Vedanta Parijata Saurabha. Vedanta Parijata Saurabha. And he founded a form of worship called Sanakadi Sampradaya. This is supposed to be a form of worship. A form of worship. Called Sanakadi Sampradaya. Then Vallabhacharya. So Vallabhacharya again was from Andhra, born to a Telugu couple, and he on a visit to Kashi is supposed to realize God. That is, he got a enlightenment, you can call it, or he realized God. He got a vision of God, and he decided to spend his time in North India, Vallabhacharya. So his philosophy is called Shuddha Advaita, and he says that one can get moksha through the grace of God. What he calls Pushti Marga. Pushti Marga is salvation through the grace of God. So these are the important saints of South India. Of course, we have discussed Shankaracharya. We have discussed Shankaracharya as part of early medieval India. Please refer to that material which we have discussed. Shankaracharya's philosophy of Advaita, the achievements and contributions of Shankaracharya. And then these are the philosophers who emerged digressing from Shankara. For example, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbaraka, and of course, Vallabhacharya. Then we have other saints of South India like Manavala Mahamuni. Okay. So all factual information, please go through it. Manavala Mahamuni. Sri Padacharya. So Sri Padacharya, Manavala Mahamuni. So Sri Padacharya, according to some, is supposed to be the father of Carnatic music. Father of Carnatic music actually is Purandaradasa. Purandaradasa is actually considered to be the founder of Carnatic music. Purandaradasa. But some scholars, as I put it, is considered by some as the father of Carnatic music. Actually, it is Purandaradasa. So he was a Vaishnava saint, Sri Padacharya. Manavala Mahamuni, again a Vaishnava saint. Then Annamacharya. Annamacharya lived in the 15th, 16th century AD. You remember we have done Vijayanagara chapter. We have the founder of the Salava dynasty, Salava Narasimha. So Salava Narasimha, he was patronized by Salava Narasimha, Annamacharya, including Annamacharya's wife, Talapakka Timmakka. So he was Talapakka Annamacharya and Talapakka Timmakka. Apart from Molla, they were all patronized by Salava Narasimha. He was a devotee of Lord Venkateshwara of Tirupati Tirumala temple, also called Balaji, a form of Vishnu. So he was a worshipper of Lord Venkateshwara of Tirupati Tirumala, and he wrote a number of kirtanas, almost 32,000 kirtanas he is supposed to have written, but of course only 8,000 of them remain as of now. Rest have been lost. So this is about Annamacharya. He also spoke about Bhakti Marga, purity, equality, all those things. He spoke about social egalitarianism. Egalitarianism means equality. Then of course we have Meykandar, who wrote Shiva Gnana Bodham. He prepared Shiva Bhakti movement. So these are the Annamaya movie also came, right? So then we have the Bhakti saints of North India. We go to North India. I told you by the 11th century, it entered North India, and by the 14th, 15th century, it became a very popular movement. We have the construction of the Royal Highway by Muhammad bin Tughlaq between Delhi to Daulatabad, which also facilitated the movement of these Bhakti saints from south to the north. So among the Bhakti saints, we have these on your screen. Ramananda. So wherever possible, I'll give you some extra points. He is considered to be the first Bhakti saint of North India, Ramananda, right? So he was settled at Kashi. He was born at Prayag. So settled at Kashi, born at Prayaga, right? So he propagated Rama Marga, that is the cult of Rama worship, and he has been made popular more by his disciples. So Ramananda had 12 disciples called Avadutas, and these are the disciples of Ramananda who made Ramananda popular. For example, we have Kabir. So they all belong to the backward classes. Kabir was from the weavers community. Raidasa was from the Chamar caste. The what do you call the shoemakers, which is basically considered as a scheduled caste community. So Raidasa was a Chamar, then Sena was a barber, Sadhana was a butcher, Dhanna a Jat peasant, Narahari a goldsmith, Pipa a Rajput prince. So they all belong to the backward classes. So Ramananda is considered to be the origin of Nirguna Bhakti is attributed to him. Take on this place. Origin of Nirguna Bhakti. Origin of Nirguna Bhakti is attributed to Ramananda. Is attributed to him, right? So he was basically a Vishnu worshipper, Ramananda, and he had no objection, though he was a Brahmin, he had no objection to dine with the lower caste, provided they were Vishnu worshippers, they were Vaishnavas. So if they were Vaishnavas, he had no problem even dining with them. Then we come to Kabir. So Kabir, lived in the 15th century, Kabir. So he promoted Nirguna Bhakti, 15th, you see here 1442, 1415, 1518, that was his time period, Kabir. So he was born to a Brahmin widow. And what this widow did is, she abandoned him because she was a widow and she had given birth to a baby. So probably, we don't know the reason how she became pregnant, etc. We'll not go into those things. So he was born to a Brahmin widow who abandoned this baby, and this baby was picked up by a Muslim couple who did not have any children. And that Muslim couple, belonging to a weavers community, they brought up that child. So as his child grew up, he would go to a temple and sit there and listen to the bhajans, etc., and look at the prayers and pray there. And then simultaneously he'll come to the mosque and he will also do namaz. So as he grew up, he spoke about the Ram Rahim concept. That is, Ram and Rahim are one and the same. So he spoke about Hindu-Muslim unity. Kabir. Like we have the yeah. Thank you, Krishna. Nirguna is without any guna, formless God. Puja. Nirguna is without any form, formless God. That's called Nirguna. Whereas Saguna is God with human attributes, idol worship. So, yeah, thank you, Krishna. ऐसे वाणी बोलिए मन का आप खोए औरों को शीतल करे आपहु शीतल होए. Thank you, Krishna. So here it's something like he spoke about Hindu-Muslim unity. For example, we have other saints, even the great saint from Shirdi Sai Baba. He also spoke about Hindu-Muslim unity because he said God doesn't make any differentiation between caste, community, religion, etc. And the teachings of these saints are relevant even now, for that matter, during this period when there is so much of differences among people on the basis of color, caste, religion, etc. So he opposed rituals and customs. So Kabir is called the Karl Marx of India. Understand this? He's called the Karl Marx of India. Why is called Karl Marx of India? Because he opposed all these things. That is, taking bath in holy ghats, taking bath in holy ghats, then fasting, going on pilgrimages, idol worship. So all these were condemned by him. He spoke about a formless God, and because of these criticisms of his, he's called the Karl Marx of India. He called Sanskrit as a stagnant language, whereas vernaculars were like flowing streams, right? So he criticized pilgrimages, rejected idolatry, idol worship, practice of fasting, promoted social equality. So a new sect was born after he died, and his followers are called Kabir Panthis, right? So his followers are called Kabir Panthis. Just hold on. You see, after Kabir's death, his Muslim disciples organized themselves at a place called Magar. Please take down this. After Kabir's death, his Muslim disciples, please take down. After Kabir's death, his Muslim disciples organized themselves. After Kabir's death, his Muslim disciples organized themselves in Maghar, a place called Maghar, Maghar, where they founded a monastery. So his Muslim disciples founded a monastery at a place called Maghar. Whereas his Hindu disciples were organized into an order by Surat Gopala. His Hindu disciples were organized into an order by Surat Gopala at Varanasi. Right? Its chief scripture is Bijak. So Hindu disciples were organized into an order by Surat Gopala at Varanasi. Its chief scripture is Bijak. Chief scripture is Bijak. Okay, so this is about Kabir. Yeah, that is true, Krishna. He highly criticized Brahminical practices. That is true. That's why it's called Karl Marx of India. Then Surdas, you see, he promoted Krishna Marga. He wrote, he was a disciple of Vallabhacharya, Surdas. He wrote, Surdas was a blind poet. He was a blind saint. Surdas. He was a blind man. And he wrote many books in Hindi language. Sur Sagar on Krishna's life, Sur Suravali, Sahitya Ratna, So these are the books written by Bhimare. Second point is what? No, his Hindu disciples organized. His Hindu disciples organized. Were organized into an order by Surat Gopala at a place called Varanasi. At Varanasi, and the chief scripture is Bijak. The chief scripture of this order is Bijak, Bijak. It's a book. It's a scripture book, Bijak. The book is called Bijak, Bijak, scripture. Yes, his verses are also found in the Adi Granth. So mostly Kabir, it is mostly in the Awadhi dialect of Hindi. Now what so basically it's a combination of Bijak is a combination of Dohas and Sakhi. It's a combination of Dohas, Kabir ke Dohe plus Sakhi. Sakhi is poems. So Bijak is a combination of Dohas and Sakhis. The Dohas are mostly, I think, sayings of Kabir. Sayings. The sayings of Kabir. So he basically spoke about brotherhood of man through Dohas. Okay, Dohas. 2-line poems. Okay, fine. Right? Then we come to Mirabai. Mirabai, you see here, she belonged to the Sisodia royal family. She had married Rana Sangram Singh's son. So she was the daughter-in-law of Rana Sangram Singh. Remember Rana Sangram Singh? He fought the Battle of Kanua against Babur. 1527, Battle of Kanua. Battle of Kanua fought between Babur and Rana Sangram Singh. Rana Sanga. And Rana Sanga was grievously wounded in this battle, and after some time he died. So Mirabai was the daughter-in-law of Rana Sanga of Mewar, and she was totally into Krishna Bhakti. She believed that Krishna was her husband. So then later she went away to Vrindavan, where she spent the rest of her life. So she promoted Krishna Bhakti and considered Krishna as her husband, Mirabai. Okay, then we have Goswami Tulsidas on your screen. Goswami Tulsidas. So he was a contemporary of Akbar, lived in the 16th, 17th centuries. Goswami Tulsidas, contemporary of Akbar. And I believe Tulsidas probably was in touch with Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan, with whom he supposed to have exchanged poetic communication. Abdur Rahim Khani Khanan was the son of Akbar's commander, Bairam Khan. So Tulsidas was a contemporary of Emperor Akbar and worshipper of Rama. He wrote the following books in Hindi language, Hindi books, Ramacharita So you see Ramayana, that is Ramayana in the Hindi Hindi medium. That's called Ramacharita as you know. So apart from Ramayana written by Valmiki, the most popular version is this, Ramacharita by Goswami Tulsidas, written in the Awadhi dialect of Hindi. So he is supposed to have begun to write the Ramcharitamanas on the banks of the Ganga in Varanasi on the Ram Navami day in 1574. And then he completed the poem in the next few years. He also wrote Kavitavali and Vinaya Patrika. So Ramcharitamanas, Kavitavali, Vinaya Patrika. These are the books written by Tulsidas. Right? So these are the important Bhakti saints. When we come to Sikhism, so remember the 10 Sikh Gurus, Guru Nanak, Guru Angad, Amardas, Ramdas, Arjun, Har Gobind, Har Rai, Har Kishan, Tegh Bahadur, and Guru Gobind Singh. These are the 10 Gurus. So remember them. They might ask you, if it's an easy question, it would be a moderately easy question. But then it is mostly factual. Arrange the following Sikh Gurus in a sequential order. They might ask you the first 5 or the last 5 or somewhere in between, the 3rd to the 7th or the 8th or the 10th, like that. So let us understand the Sikh Gurus, Sikhism. Sikhism is the consolidated, teachings of all the 10 Sikh Gurus. The founder was, of course, Guru Nanak Dev, Guru Nanak. So he was a contemporary of Babur, Guru Nanak, contemporary of Babur. He was born in present-day Pakistan and he died in present-day Pakistan. Those days there was no Pakistan, of course. So he was born at Talwandi, which is now in Pakistan, and died at Kartarpur, again, which is in Pakistan now. So he was a great scholar in Persian language, Arabic language, and Sanskrit also. He knew Sanskrit. He traveled extensively along with a student called Mardana. So Mardana was his student. So along with Mardana, he would travel extensively. He also visited Makkah, Medina, right? And these tours of Nanak are called Udasis. These tours of Nanak are called Udasis. Now he believed in a formless God, and his concept is unity of God and unity of man. So that is there's only one. Everybody is equal. All human beings are equal, and there's only one God, and that God is formless. That is the teaching of Nanak, Guru Nanak. So unity of man and unity of God. So all men are equal. There is unity of God. That's called essential monotheism, and God is formless, nirguna. Right? Then Guru Nanak is the person who started Guru Ka Langar. So Langar is community kitchen in Gurudwaras. The Gurudwaras all over the world did a yeoman service during COVID, right? Not only in India but also abroad. So many people, thousands and lakhs of people, countless people were fed by these Gurudwaras during COVID time, and people were scared to come out, of their homes. So Guru Ka Langar was begun by Guru Nanak, and it was popularized by other saints, other Sikh gurus. And his disciples are called Sikh. Sikh means from Sanskrit word Shishya. It also means Siksha, instruction or education. And the preachings of Guru Nanak became the basis for Sikhism. So he was born in Talwandi, also known as Nankana Sahib, and died at Kartarpur, both in Pakistan. Guru Nanak. Yeah, daily in all the Gurudwaras you have langar, but only vegetarian food is available. You can't go in there and ask for non-vegetarian, right? Only vegetarian food is available, right? And very tasty also, very tasty. Now, Sikhism, very, you know, Sikhism gives a lot of importance to women, a lot of respect to women. As part of the Sikh tenet, we have menstruating women. So women have their monthly, menses or periods, So, and in other religions, they are not considered. It is considered to be inauspicious to go to a temple or go to the God's room or even pray for that matter when the woman is having a monthly period. Whereas in Sikhism, menstruating women can go to a gurudwara and pray. So it is not considered to be inauspicious or dirty, right? At the same time, it allows remarriage of widows. Sikhism allows remarriage of widows. So, and also, we have Nanak and his successors condemning all these things. Sati was condemned, Parda was condemned, which were used to oppress women, Sati, Parda, etc. Right? So there's no Parda system in Sikhism, and also remarriage of widows is allowed. And these are the words of Guru Nanak. You see here, I put a quotation. This is attributed to Guru Nanak. From women, man is born. Within woman, man is conceived. To woman, he is engaged and married. Woman becomes his friend. Through her, the future generations come. When his woman dies, he seeks another woman. To the woman, he is bound. So why call her bad? From her, kings are born. From woman, woman is born. Without woman, there would be no one at all. So these are the words attributed to Guru Nanak Dev. Then we move on. Guru Angad, second Guru. You see, Guru Nanak's own children, own sons, were not spiritually inclined. So since his own children were not spiritually inclined, Guru Nanak chose one of his disciples as his successor. His name was Lehna. And he gave him a new name called Angad. Angad means from my own limb. So Angad was a disciple of Guru Nanak, and he chose Lehna and gave him a new name called Angad. So he is the second Guru. And during his period, Gurumukhi script evolved. So remember this, Gurumukhi script evolved during his period, during the period of Guru Angad. The third is Amar Das, Guru Amar Das. Under him, the concept of Guru Ka Langar was very much popularized. It was started by Nanak, it was popularized by Amar Das. Then we have the fourth Guru Ramdas, a contemporary of Akbar. It was Emperor Akbar who gave the land in Amritsar, Punjab, where the foundation of the holiest Gurudwara of the Sikhs was laid. The foundation was laid by Ramdas. Now, you see, I put a picture here. You see this? This is the Golden Temple or the Harmandir Sahib, the holiest shrine of the Sikhs. And there's a lake next to the Gurudwara. The land, this land where the lake was dug up was also donated by Akbar to Ramdas. And I believe, you understand this, the second Guru, Angad, had a skin ailment. He had a skin ailment. And therefore the third Guru, Guru Amar Das, found some herbs in the midst of that lake. And with that, and he administered those herbs to Angad, Guru Angad, whose skin ailment disappeared. Therefore, this particular lake is called Amrit Sarovar. Amrit Sarovar. This lake is called Amrit Sarovar. And the Gurus decided to build a Gurudwara in the midst of that lake because of the quality of that water and the sanctity of that place. So the land where this Gurudwara was built was donated by Emperor Akbar, right? So, we have the holiest shrine of the Sikhs, the Harmandir Sahib, and of course, as you all know, it was covered in gold by the 18th century ruler of Punjab, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who used 400 kg of gold. 400 kg of gold has been used to cover the Harmandir Sahib in gold. And after the death of Guru Ramdas, the fourth Guru, the Guruship became hereditary. Guruship became hereditary after the death of Guru Ramdas. Okay, keep that in mind. And the place name Amritsar. Okay, thank you. Yeah, beautiful, the beautiful Gurudwara. I would love to visit the place. You have a nice movie also, I think. Who's that? Anushka Kapoor and Shah Rukh Khan's movie. There's a lovely song also. A old movie. Okay, anyway, we'll come back here. So not yet. I would love to go. I have not found an opportunity. Okay, we'll move on. Fifth Guru, Guru Arjun. Rab ne bana di jodi. Thank you, Sumo. Rab ne bana di jodi. Yeah, Operation Blue Star happened here. That is true. You study that as part of post-independence, isn't it? You study that as part of post-independence. I'll not talk about it because that doesn't come under my focus here. As of now, we're doing art and culture. We'll stick to that. Yeah, thank you, Ankush. Yeah, Amritsar is named after that. Okay, thank you. Then, of course, Guru Arjun. Guru Arjun, we have the completion of the Harmandir Sahib. So, if there's a question asked, who built the Golden Temple? It is Arjun, because Guru Arjun is the one who completed the Harmandir Sahib. So, the credit goes to him. Then the Guru Granth Sahib was also completed by him. It is a compilation of the teachings of many saints, many Hindu saints, Muslim saints, even Maharashtra saints are there in that, Guru Granth Sahib. So it was written in the Gurumukhi script. And Guru Arjun, we have seen, was executed. He was tortured and ordered to be executed by Jahangir because he is supposed to have given shelter, supported Jahangir's rebellious son Khusru. And I've told you when I did Mughal period, the Guru Arjun was tortured, made to sit on hot tawa, hot sand was thrown at his body. And then he went for a bath in the river Ravi, and he never came out of that river. And later the Sikhs built a Gurudwara there, which is in Lahore, Gurudwara Dera Sahib. Gurudwara Dera Sahib stands there, where the Guru disappeared into the river Ravi. Then Har Gobind. So here, beginning of Mughal Sikh conflict is from the time of Jahangir, when he ordered the torture and execution of Guru Arjun. Then Guru Har Gobind, the sixth Guru, he rebelled against Jahangir. He was imprisoned in the Gwalior fort for 10 years for non-payment of taxes. And then he built the fort of Lohagarh. So he rebelled against Jahangir. And later, of course, Jahangir released him after imprisoning him in the Gwalior fort for 10 years. Then so Lohagarh was a fort built by Guru Har Gobind. Later it was conquered by Bahadur Shah I, or Shah Alam I, the son of Aurangzeb. Now, Guru Hargobind is the person who also began a court in the Golden Temple that is called Akal Takht. Akal Takht. So it is a Sikh court where both religious and secular cases are decided. So Akal Takht was started by him. Then he also began the tradition of warrior saint. The concept of warrior saints were begun by Har Gobind, the sixth Guru. Okay, thank you, Bimare. Then seventh Guru was Guru Har Rai. Seventh Guru, you see, so many people, you're asking about, you know what is Blue Star, right? Operation Blue Star, I'm sure you know, all of you. What was this Operation Blue Star? Yes, you know that. Okay, I'll not talk about it. Sakshi says she knows. Good. Fine. That's part of Akal Takht is a holy court, Sikh court, puja. It's a Sikh court. Sikh court. Sikh, it's here. You know, see Sikh court where both secular and religious cases are decided. No, the thing is, I'll be digressing from the whole issue, Bimre. You have the Jarnail Singh Bindranwale, he was spearheading the movement for a separate Sikh state called Khalistan. This demand was there even during the time of independence. Just as we were getting independence, some of the Sikhs were demanding a separate state for the Sikhs called Khalistan. But then that never was encouraged by any of the leaders, including the British. So during the time of Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, we have this Jarnail Singh Bindranwale, who was spearheading this movement for a separate state of for the Sikhs called Khalistan. So you have weapons, automatic weapons like AK-47, AK-56, etc., which had, and including rocket launchers, etc., had been stored in the Harmandir Sahib clandestinely by this group of Sikh, Sikhs who wanted a separate state for the Sikhs. And once the intelligence came to know about this, the Punjab police went there, but then they were received with by a volley of bullets from automatic weapons, and they only have .303 weapons, rifles. So they ran away. Obviously, the army had to be called, and Mrs. Gandhi had to take a tough decision, and she took that decision, where the army had to be sent there because they had to fight militants who were operating with automatic weapons. So army had to be called in. That's called Operation Blue Star. In this particular conflict between the Indian Army and the Sikh militants, there was extensive damage to the Golden Temple, and that hurt the religious sentiments of the Sikhs. And later, that led to the assassination of Mrs. Gandhi. So that is the Operation Blue Star. So we'll come back here. So seventh Guru, Guru Har Rai, then eighth Guru, Guru Har Kishan. Okay, Guru Har Kishan was the eighth Guru, and he died of smallpox. At the age of 5 years, he became Guru, and at the age of 8 years, he died. Then Guru Tegh Bahadur, ninth Guru of the Sikhs, Guru Tegh Bahadur. So Tegh means a sword here. So he was born at Amritsar to Mata Nanki and Guru Hargobind. So he was born to Guru Hargobind and Mata Nanki, and he was also called Tyagmal because of his ascetic nature. So he got both, education, that is education, formal education as well as military training. Both were received by him. At the young age of 13 years, he distinguished himself in a battle when he defeated a Mughal governor. So that's when he got the title of Sacha Pacha. So he was given the title of Sacha Pacha, right? And he shifted his headquarters from Ramdaspur to Kartarpur. So he bought some land after his mother's name. So he bought land at Makhowal village and renamed it Chak Nanki. So it was named after his mother. You see, his mother's name was Mata Nanki. So he called it as Chak Nanki, which later became Anandpur Sahib, right? So he traveled extensively. Then we have, Guru Raja Ram Singh. Remember Ram Singh? Ram Singh was the one who accompanied Shivaji to Agra, the son of Raja Jai Singh. So now Ram Singh was the king of Amer. So when the Guru was returning back from Dhaka, Bangladesh, present-day Bangladesh, Ram Singh, the king of Amer. Amer is Jaipur, nowadays, the kingdom of Jaipur. So the city of Jaipur. So the king of Amer invited the Guru to broker a peace between the Rajputs and of course the Ahom ruler, the Ahom king. So the Guru acted as a mediator and he brought peace between the Amer ruler and the Ahom king of Assam. And we have a Gurudwara which marks that place, Gurudwara Dhubri Sahib, on the banks of the river Brahmaputra, commemorates this peace accord. And the Guru was also supposedly honored in the Kamakhya temple in Guwahati, Assam. And of course, we have in 1675, he was ordered to be executed by the orders of Aurangzeb. So I have given a story here. You see here on your screen, this is again from newspaper. This is again from newspaper. And so what is the reason? What are the reasons which led to the execution of Guru Tegh Bahadur? So here you can see. So we have a group of Hindus who came to Punjab to seek the audience of the Guru Tegh Bahadur. They were led by a person called Kirpa Das, a Brahmin, a Kashmiri Brahmin. And Kirpa Das told Guru Tegh Bahadur that the Mughals and the local Muslim governors are forcing people into Islam, forcibly converting people into Islam. And the Guru assured this Hindu delegation not to be afraid. And he's supposed to have made a statement, if they can, let them try to convert the Guru. So Guru Tegh Bahadur is supposed to have said that, if they can, let them try to convert the Guru. Let us see. So I believe this news reached Aurangzeb. And later, Guru Tegh Bahadur himself went to Delhi and he introduced himself as Guru Tegh Bahadur. He was accompanied by 3 of his disciples. And immediately he was arrested. And then he was tried in a court of law. And the Guru said that he did say that because it is wrong to force anybody to follow any religion. It should be totally voluntary. So he was ordered, he was given 2 choices. He was found guilty, given 2 choices, either to convert himself to Islam or to face death penalty. And even his disciples were given choices between death and converting themselves to Islam. So all of them refused to convert themselves to Islam. They said they would prefer to die. So as you can see here, out of his 3 disciples, Bhai Matidas was literally torn apart. So his hands and legs were tied to horses. So 2 horses, pulling in opposite directions. So he was literally torn apart like that. By Satidas, he was burnt alive, and by Dyaraji was put in hot boiling water, and they died. Until the end, they were asked to change their mind, but they refused. And of course, Guru Tegh Bahadur's head was cut off. Right? So Gurudwara Sisganj Sahib stands at that exact spot where the Guru was executed in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. So this is the story. And Guru Gobind Singh says in his Vichitra Natak, in the book called Vichitra Natak, Dharam het saka jin kiya, sees diya par sir nahi diya. That is, he sacrificed his life for dharma. He gave up his head, but not his honor. That's what Guru Gobind Singh says. So this is the detail, which I taken from newspaper, simply newspapers. Right? Then we come to the 10th and the last Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So you see, the head of the severed head of the Guru was taken to Punjab. The body remained there only. And later, I have told you, I have given you these details in the Mughal chapter. The PPTs I have given you. So 2 Sikh disciples of Guru Tegh Bahadur took the body, the headless body of the Guru into their hut, and they burned the hut. So along with the dead body, along with the hut, the dead body also got burnt. And later a Gurudwara was built in Delhi, near the Parliament House, called Gurudwara Rakabganj Sahib. So Gurudwara Rakabganj Sahib stands there, where the headless body of Guru Tegh Bahadur was burnt by these 2 Sikh disciples of the Guru. And later, of course, we have the 10th Guru who comes to power, Guru Gobind Rai, who took the title of Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th and the last Guru, and he wanted to take revenge against the Mughals. And we have, the establishment of the Khalsa, 1699, the establishment of the militant Sikh army, the Khalsa. So Khalsa was established by Guru Gobind Singh, the militant Sikh army, and he was the one who baptized the Sikhs. So through a ceremony called Puhul, the Sikhs came to be baptized. That is, a Sikh is supposed to carry 5 things on his body, where it's called 5 Ks or Kakka, 5 Kakas. So Kesh, Kada, you know that Kesh, Kara, Kirpan, Ganga, and Kacha. Kesh, they're not supposed to cut their hair. So they're supposed to have a top knot along and not cut their hair. That is called Kesh. That is not cutting the hair. Okay, not cutting the hair. Kesh. And tie a top knot. Kada is iron bangle in the right hand. Iron bangle in the right hand. Kirpan is a sword or a dagger or a sword. So they're supposed to carry always a dagger or a sword with them. Ganga is a comb, and Kacha is a undergarment. Why undergarment? Anybody? Why undergarment? Khalsa. Thank you, no. Yeah, Khalsa. Thank you, Sakshi. Khalsa. Why I'm not able to access the class? Shazia, I don't know. You please refresh your page. Shazia, others are able to, others are not having any problem. So that's the Khalsa, right? That is so. This is the rule brought about by the 10th and the last Guru of the sixth, Guru Gobind Singh, and we have seen this. I've told you when I did Mughal chapter Aurangzeb. You see, we have Guru Gobind Singh losing 4 of his sons in battle. So I'll just discuss about it. December 26th has been declared as Veer Bal Divas by the central government, and that marks the death of the Shahibzadas, the 2 younger children of Guru Gobind Singh. So we will talk about it in just a moment's time. Guru Gobind Singh later was assassinated. You see, he supported Muslim in the civil war against his brothers. So Aurangzeb had 3 surviving sons. One of them ran away from India. Remember, Prince Akbar ran away from India. So Aurangzeb had Prince Muslim, his eldest son. So Muslim, Muhammad Azam, and Kam Baksh. These are the 3 sons of Aurangzeb who began to fight for the throne. So Muslim won the civil war after defeating his 2 brothers. And in this civil war, Guru Gobind Singh had supported Muslim. Later, Muslim became the emperor with the title of Bahadur Shah the First. And he took Guru Gobind Singh into Mughal service. And he was posted in the south, in Maharashtra, present-day Maharashtra, to help in the consolidation of the Mughal empire. And one day, while he was meditating, Guru Gobind Singh was, as he was meditating, he was assassinated by an Afghan at a place called Nanded. So we have the Gurudwara. You see here, just hold on. The Gurudwara, Hazur Sahib. So the Gurudwara Hazur Sahib stands at Maharashtra at a place called Nanded. Gurudwara Huzur Sahib. This marks the place where Guru Gobind Singh lost his life. So Adi Granth, you see, it contains the teachings of all these saints: Ramananda, Kabir, Raidasa, Namdev, Gnanadev, and Baba Farid, the Sufi saint. So 6 of them, the teachings of 6 people are contained in the Adi Granth of the 6. Now, December 26 on your screen, December 26 has been declared by the government. In January 2022, it was announced that December 26 would be celebrated as Veer Bal Divas. So, what is the reason as to why this date is celebrated as Veer Bal Divas? It marks the death of the 4 children of Guru Gobind Singh. So, what is the story? That story is here. You go through it. You see here the Gurudwara. I'll tell you the story in brief. Do you want me to? Yeah. Thank you, Krishna. Chidiya Naal Je Bas Ladava Ta Govind Singh Naam Dharava. Okay. Why Kacha? Okay, just one thing I forgot to tell you. Why Kacha? No, why Kacha? See, why Kacha is Guru Gobind Singh said that he will take revenge against the Mughals. But then he also wanted the Sikhs to realize, to remember that while taking revenge against the Mughals, the Sikhs should not violate Muslim women. You take against, we'll fight against the Mughals. But let the Sikhs not touch the Muslim women or violate them. Let that be a reminder. And that's why Kacha. Did you understand? Just one. That's the reason why Kacha. I forgot to mention that. We'll come back here. Now, what is the reason why this Veer Bal Divas is celebrated? Now, I'll tell you in brief. You at your leisure go through this particular note here. Now, Anandapur Sahib was the headquarters of the Guru. You all know that. Anandapur Sahib was the headquarters of the Guru. And the Guru in 1699 established the Khalsa. Khalsa is the militant Sikh army. Now the Mughals, including the governor of Lahore, his name was Wazir Khan, the governor of Lahore, and the hill chieftains. They were all Hindu hill chieftains. They were not happy with Guru Gobind Singh occupying Anandapur Sahib. They wanted him to abandon Anandapur Sahib, vacate Anandapur Sahib, and go away. Otherwise, they threatened a war against Guru Gobind Singh. So Guru Gobind Singh, and I believe the Mughals as well as the Muslim governors of that area, they took a vow on the Holy Quran. And the Hindu chieftains took a vow on the cow that they will combinedly attack Anandapur Sahib to oust the Guru from there. So when the Guru came to know about this, to avoid a war, he assured both the Mughal governors of that area, including Wazir Khan, the governor of Lahore, and including the hill chieftains, that he will voluntarily abandon or vacate Anandapur Sahib. So, without a war. So, Anandapur, Guru Gobind Singh took his army, his family, and he was vacating Anandapur Sahib. And while they were going away from Anandapur Sahib, to avoid a war with the Mughal governors as well as the Hindu chieftains, and the Mughal governors changed their mind, and they attacked suddenly the army of Guru Gobind Singh. The river Sirsa, you have the river Sirsa, which was in spate, it was in floods. So they had to cross the river, the Sikh army along with the family of Guru Gobind Singh. So what happened is many of the Sikh soldiers got carried away in the current of the Sirsa because it was in floods. And at that spot, the family got separated. Guru Gobind Singh's wife and along with a servant and a few servants, they went one direction. Guru Gobind Singh's mother with two of his younger children. Guru Gobind Singh had 4 children. So along with the 2 younger boys, a 7-year-old boy and a 9-year-old boy, Guru Gobind Singh's mother, she took the 2 younger children to another place. And then Guru Gobind Singh himself, along with 40 of his soldiers and 2 elder sons of his, one was a 17-year-old boy and the other was a 19-year-old boy. They got separated and they went to another place. So 3 people in 3 separate places. Guru Gobind Singh's wife, along with some of her soldiers and servants in one city, one town. Then Guru Gobind Singh's 2 youngest children along with his mother in a separate area, and then 2 elder sons remained with Guru Gobind Singh along with a small army, and that is called Chamkaur Sahib. So he went away to Chamkaur Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh, along with his 2 elder sons. And Chamkaur Sahib was surrounded by the Mughal army. Now, the mother of Guru Gobind Singh, who had taken away the 2 younger boys, one was, I'll tell you the name. You see here, I've given the name. Sahibzada Zorawar Singh, Sahibzada Fateh Singh. These are the 2 younger boys. Then Sahibzada Ajit Singh, and then Sahibzada Jujar Singh, 14 and 18. So Ajit Singh and Jujar Singh remained with their father, whereas Zorawar Singh and Fateh Singh, 2 younger children, went away with their grandmother. Okay, now they were staying in a particular place, right? And the servant of that place, you see here, so her name was Mata Gujri, and they had taken shelter in a village called Kheri, in the house of one fellow called Gangu. He was the family cook of Guru Gobind Singh. So he was a Hindu family cook. So there was a reward on the head of the children as well as Guru Gobind Singh's family. The Lahore governor Wazir Khan had announced this reward. So this Gangu, in whose house the mother of Guru Gobind Singh had taken shelter with her 2 grandsons, the youngest children of Guru Gobind Singh, he got greedy, looking at the jewels won by Mata Gujri, the mother of Guru Gobind Singh, and also the reward. So he went and revealed the news to Wazir Khan, the governor of Lahore, in order to get that reward. And immediately they were arrested, Guru Gobind Singh's mother and the two younger boys. And they were kept in a particular place called Thanda Burj. So in the whole night, there was a river flowing, I believe, and there was a old fort there. So the two children were kept in Thanda Burj, cold tower. And that Guru Gobind Singh's mother was 81-year-old. So they was, it was bitingly cold. So the whole night they were shivering, and the whole night they were shivering. Next morning they were presented before Wazir Khan, the governor, and he ordered the execution of these two boys. And there was objection against this governor's decision. Some of the Muslim nobles objected, saying that Islam doesn't allow the killing of children. But then he prevailed. He wanted to have his way. Until the end, they were asked to convert. I believe the two boys remained steadfast. They just kept quiet. They were also told that their father had been killed, their two elder brothers had been killed, and they better convert themselves to Islam. They remained steadfast. So the Wazir Khan ordered that they be bricked alive, bricked alive. So when the brick wall was being constructed, the younger boy's throat was slit. The 7-year-old boy's throat was slit. So when the grandmother saw that, that is, Fateh Singh's throat was slit. So when Mata Gujari saw that, she got a shock, and that night she died. And as soon as she died, the elder boy, the 9-year-old boy's throat was also slit, and they were bricked into that wall. And later we have, Chamkor Sahib, where the battle took place between the small Sikh army against a huge Mughal army. So the two elder sons of Guru Gobind Singh laid down their life fighting on the battlefield, right? And later, of course, Guru Gobind Singh escaped, and then of course later you have Banda Bahadur. Banda Bahadur took revenge against the governor of Lahore, Wazir Khan. So he killed him later. So this is the story. Did you understand? This all the details are there. Where the family split, they went away in three directions. There a Gurudwara has been built. This is called Gurudwara Parivar Vichora Sahib. You see here, I put a picture also. You see here, this is called Gurudwara Parivar Vichora Sahib. Bichad gaya na, wahan pe bichad gaye the. Vichora in Punjabi language. I don't know Punjabi, but I can understand. Vichora. Yeah. Okay, so this is about the story. So December 26th is celebrated as Veer Bal Divas. Okay, so this is about the Sikh gurus, right? 10 Sikh gurus. Actually, when I read this story for the first time, I did not know. When I read this story, I felt very. You have to give it to those boys, young boys, as young as 7 and 9. And they refused to convert or cry, even when they were told that their father and two brothers had been killed. They refused to cry, and they were not afraid of death. So they were staring death, with a smiling face. Okay. So all these details are here. Please go through it. Then we have other saints of other Bhakti saints. For example, in Bengal, Assam, Orissa, you see Bengal, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one. So please go through it. It is factual information. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was considered to be an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Very good looking, I believe, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. So he was born in Nadia, Navadvipa, but spent most of his time in the Puri Jagannath temple at Orissa. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the sort of a reconversion movement where a number of people who were of the lower caste who had converted themselves to Islam were reconverted back to Hindu religion. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Original name was Vishwambara Mishra. Right? Then we have Shankaradasa. So he was a saint from Assam, 15th, 16th century saint, Srimanta Shankaradeva. So you remember we have the Satriya dance. Satriya dance was supposedly devised by him. Satras, you have satras or monasteries. Vaishnava monasteries in Assam are called satras. Right. Okay, so Satriya dance was invented by him, or devised by him. So he was a Vaishnava saint, and he wrote Kirtanas and translated some portions of the Bhagavata Purana and the Ramayana into Assamese language. And he influenced the Ahom king. So we have the Ahom dynasty ruling Assam by name Suhung Mung. So Suhung Mung, the king of Assam, was so much influenced by Shankaradasa that he converted himself to Vaishnavism. He became a Vishnu devotee. And Suhung Mung, the Ahom king, took a new name, Swarga Narayana. So that was the influence of Shankaradasa on Suhung Mung. Then we come to Maharashtra Bhakti saints, Maharashtra Dharma. So what is this Maharashtra Dharma? The liberal religion preached by the saint poets of Maharashtra. It is also called Pandharpur movement because this movement was centered around the Vitthal temple at Pandharpur. So you see here I put a picture of the Pandharpur temple, Vitthal temple at Pandharpur. Pandharpur is a place on the banks of the Chandrabhaga river. This Pandharpur is on the banks of the river Chandrabhaga, a tributary of the Bhima river. Right? And Krishna is called Vitthal here. Krishna is called Vitthal. And Rukmini, of course, is called Rukumai. So you have a number of saints who have worshipped in this temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also spent 7 days here, I believe. Then we have a number of Maharashtra Bhakti saints, Dhyaneshwar, Tukaram, Namdev, Eknath, Nivruttinath, Muktabai, Chokamela, Savatamali, Narahari Sonar, etc. All these people have worshipped in this particular temple. The unique aspect of this temple is, you can go to the sanctum sanctorum and touch the feet of the Lord. There's no discrimination here that only the priests are supposed to worship. The devotees have to stand outside the Garbhagriha or the sanctum sanctorum, take the darshan of the Lord from a distance and go away. There's no discrimination here. Irrespective of which sex or which religion or whatever caste you are, doesn't matter. You can go into the sanctum sanctorum, touch the feet of the Lord, and then come out of it. So that's very unique to this temple. Right now, the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra is divided into two parts, two sects. We have Varakari and Varkari and Dharakari. So who are these Varkaris? Varkaris are the mild devotees of Vitthal of Pandharpur. They are very emotional, theoretical in their mindset. They do varis, that is pilgrimages. Vari is a pilgrimage. So they walk, weeks together, months together from their village or town to Pandharpur to get the darshan of the Lord, to take the blessings of the Lord. So every year they do annual pilgrimages, and that can last for a few weeks or a few months. So these are called the Varkaris. All right. Then we have the Dharakaris. Dharakaris are more practical when compared to the Varkaris. They are supposed to be the followers of the cult of Ramadasa, a devotee of Rama. So they took also interest in worldly life, not just spiritual pursuits, but also in worldly life. Right? So, for example, Tukaram and Ramdas were contemporaries of Shivaji. Tukaram was a Varkari saint, and whereas Samartha Ramdas, the religious guru of Shivaji, was a Dharakari saint. So that's Dharakari, Varkari. Chaitanya, I don't know about the connection between Chaitanya and ISKCON temple, Krishna, but what I know is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the person who was considered to be an incarnation of Krishna, and many people worshipped him, thinking that he is equal to Krishna. He was very good looking, very handsome looking. At the same time, considered to be a saint in Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the connection between ISKCON and ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness? That was established by Govinda Bhagavad Pada, isn't it? If I remember correct, it is established by the saint called Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada, Krishna, right? So, what is the connection between Chaitanya and ISKCON? I have no idea. Yeah, Prabhupada Swami, all right? Okay, thank you, Ankush. Now, let us look at the Bhakti saints of Maharashtra. Gnanadev comes first, 13th century, then Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram. So, you can remember that way, Gnet. So, that's Gnanadev, Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram. Gnanadeva, then Namdev, Eknath and Tukaram, right? So Gnaneshwar, Sant Gnaneshwar, so founded Maharashtra Dharma, the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra, and all these saints spoke in Maharashtra language, Marathi language. So they promoted Marathi literature. He wrote 3 books. One is Gnaneshwari, also called Bhavartha Deepika. This is the Marathi commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Gnaneshwari, also called Bhavartha Deepika, Marathi commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, and Amrita Anubhava, Changadeva Prashasti. So this is about Gnaneshwar, Gnanadev. Then, so he rejected caste distinctions, Brahminical dominance. So they basically spoke about, equality, egalitarianism. Then Namdev, he was initially a robber, belonged to the tailor caste, influenced by Islam, and he uh, wrote many abhangas, that is lyrical poems. Namdev is known for his abhangas. Even now they are sung in Marathi language. We have a number of disciples of his, like Gora, who was a potter, Samvata, a Mali or a gardener, Choka, untouchable, Janabai, a domestic maid. They were all disciples of Namdev. So he condemned idolatry, idol worship, priestly domination, opposed caste system. So they spoke about, common things, all these saints of Maharashtra, including the other Bhakti saints. We have looked at the various corruptions in our society and religion and preached the gospel of love, Namdev. Then Eknath wrote Bhavartha Ramayana, right? And he is reputed for bhajans and kirtans, Eknath. Then Tukaram, real founder of the Varkari movement, was a contemporary of Shivaji, right? Then Rajasthan, we have the saint called Dadu Dayal. So Dadu Dayal, Dadu means brother, and Dayal means the compassionate one. So Dadu Dayal, he was made famous by his students like Rajab. So Rajab, recorded his teachings. That is called Dadu Ki Vani or Dadu Dayal Ra Ruha. So Rajab compiled all his teachings. This is in the Braj language. Dadu's compositions are in the Braj language. It is called Dadu Anubhava Vani. So this is Dadu Dayal from Rajasthan. Then we have, of course, Narsingha Mehta. So he's the favorite bhajan of Mahatma Gandhi was composed by him. Vaishnava Janato. Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiere. So once in a year it is sung during Gandhi Jayanti, otherwise it is forgotten. But that is the favorite bhajan of Mahatma Gandhi. It was composed by Narsingha Mehta. So these are the important Bhakti saints. I'm sure you'll get some more points from Nitin Singhania's book. Please go through that book also. Mirabai is also from Rajasthan. Yeah. Dadu Pantis, yeah, the teachings, the devotees of Dadu, the followers of Dadu and his teachings. And later Dadu's teachings became the inspiration for a new sect called Satnami sect. Satnami sect was founded by Birban and Jagjivan Das around Agra and Mathura. So basically, it consisted of artisans from the lower classes who were untouchables. Satnami sect. We have a Satnami rebellion also during the time of Aurangzeb. Remember Satnami rebellion. So that was put down, and the Satnami sect was inspired by the teachings of Dadu Dayal. Okay, now look at the question here. 2022 question. The world's second tallest statue in sitting pose of Ramanuja was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad recently. Which one of the following statements correctly represents the teachings of Ramanuja? The best means of salvation was devotion. That is the answer actually. Vedas are eternal, self-existent, and wholly authoritative. Logical arguments were essential means for the highest bliss. Salvation was to be obtained through meditation. So basically, he spoke about devotion. Bhakti Marga. He spoke about Bhakti Marga. So that is the answer. First one is the answer. Rest are all not correct. Vedas are eternal, self-existent. No. Logical arguments were essential means for the highest bliss. That is also not right. Salvation to be obtained through meditation. No. So the best means is through devotion, Bhakti Marga. Then some more questions. Consider the following statements about Bhakti movements. The Bhakti movement first emerged in southern India. Yes or no? Bhakti movement first emerged in southern India. Yes, in the Pallava period, right? Tamil Nadu. Bhakti movement in North India carries influences of the culture introduced by the Muslim rulers. That is true. It coincided with the Mongol invasions of Iran and Central Asia, resulting in a large immigration of Persianized cultural elites into India. So this is also right. It coincided with the Mongol invasions of Iran and Central Asia, resulting in a large immigration of Persianized cultural elites into India. So all the three statements are correct. They're asking how many statements are correct. All the three statements are correct. And the explanation is here. You see, so here so here we have a Persianite cosmopolitan culture which emerged in South Asia, and they believed that it is necessary society should have a righteous king whose reign is divine in origin and who ensures the well-being and prosperity of many religious and cultural communities. So when Mongol invasions happened over Iran and Central Asia, many of these Persianized elites came away to South India, came away to India. So that particular statement is correct. And they brought along with them their culture. And they believed that there should be a righteous king who is divine in origin and who ensures the prosperity of everybody, prosperity and security of many religious and cultural communities. So that statement, third statement, is also correct. The explanation is here. Hello, are you there with me? The explanation is here. Then, one more question. He was a writer, poet, philosopher, spiritual master, saint of the Hindu faith. He spent 12 years traveling the whole Indian subcontinent as a devotee of Lord Ram and Hanuman, encountering many spiritual leaders and religious traditions. Throughout the years, he has influenced Hindu nationalist thinkers. This 17th century saint was said to have inspired Lokmanya Tilak, RSS founder K.B. Hedgewar, and Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. The above mentioned lines refers to whom? So Ramdas is the answer. Pratap Rao, Tukaram, Netoji Palkar. Answer is Ramdas. 17th century saint. He was a contemporary of Shivaji. He was the spiritual guru. The spiritual guru or religious guru of Shivaji. Chhatrapati Shivaji. Ramdas, Samartha Ramdas, who also inspired people like Tilak. So I believe his Maruti Stotra on Hanuman is even now recited by school children in Maharashtra as well as by the akhadas, in the various akhadas of Maharashtra. The local, akhadas, wrestling akhadas. Then next question. The Guru was born in Amritsar in 1621 to Mata Nanki and Guru Hargobind. So that should give you the answer. Mata Nanki and Guru Hargobind. He was also known as Tyagmal because of his ascetic nature. Spent his early childhood in Amritsar under the tutelage of Bhai Gurdas, who taught him Gurumukhi, Hindi, Sanskrit, Indian religious philosophy, while Baba Buddha trained him in swordsmanship, archery, horse riding. At the age of 13, he distinguished himself in a battle against a Mughal chieftain. Obviously, the answer is Guru Tegh Bahadur, who also took the title of Sacha Pacha, the 9th Guru of the Sikhs. So the answer is here. Then, this is about Bhakti movement, right? This is about Bhakti movement. Clear? So, Bhakti movement received a remarkable reorientation with the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, please go through the model answers I have given you about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and evaluate the nature of Bhakti literature and its contribution to Indian culture. So, basically, it led to the strengthening of vernacular languages, the various messages and books written by the Bhakti saints or by their followers. So that is the main gist of the answer, right? So we will come to Sufi movement now. Sufi movement. So you have a webinar today. I have already shared the model answers. Krishna, has everybody? Krishna, model answers have been shared already. Yeah, art and culture webinar. So I'll stop about 15 minutes early. We'll stop at 8:15 so that you can have something to eat and come back. Bhakti movement, these PPTs have not been shared with you. Shreya says PPTs of Bhakti and Sufi movement not been shared. No, it will be shared, don't worry. So let us talk about Sufi movement now. Bhakti movement is over. Now let us talk about Sufi movement. You want a break now, Pihu? It's only 6:30 now. Okay. Now, what is Sufi movement? Anybody? What is Sufi movement? What is Sufi movement? Sir, this picture is teaching in the picture and God's in the teaching. I did not understand. Okay. Just hold on. Okay. So I had actually, yeah, good. We'll come back here. Now let us understand Sufism. Now, what is the Sufi movement? Sufi. What is the Sufi movement? Now, Sufi movement. Understand this. I'll make you write also some extra points. Now, look here. Sufi movement. Okay, so universal love for all via music. Krishna says universal love for all via music. Okay, so I heard a name Lalan Fakir. Okay, Ankush, we'll talk about Lalan Fakir in the webinar. Muslim version of Bhakti movement. Okay, Sumo. Ankush. Okay, fine. Now we'll come back here. What is Sufi movement? So Sufi movement is nothing but Islamic mysticism. You can call it as Bhakti movement among Muslims. Bhakti movement among Muslims is called Sufism, but this is another name for Islamic mysticism. Islamic mysticism. Now, please understand the word Sufi is from the word Suf or wool. The word Sufi is from the word Suf or wool. Now, all Sufi movements, understand this, all Sufi movements arose outside India. So, all these movements all arose outside India. And Abul Fazl, who was a minister under Akbar, gives us the list of 14 silsilas. Silsila. He gives us a list of 14 silsilas or orders. So Sufis were divided into a number of orders or silsilas. Silsila means orders. And he gives us a list of 14 silsilas. All were established outside India. And the students of these Sufi saints came to India and established that particular order here in India. For example, we have the Chishti silsila. The Chishti silsila. Chishti silsila was established by Abd al-Chist, Khwaja Abd al-Chist, Khwaja Abd al-Chist of Herat, right? And one of his disciples by name Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, Khwaja Moinuddin, Khwaja Mainuddin Chishti came to India. He initially came to Lahore. And from Lahore he went to Ajmer. And Ajmer became his headquarters. Ajmer in Rajasthan became his headquarters. Now, please understand, in Sufism, basically you have a guru. Understand this? You have a guru. The guru is called a peer. So peer means guru. Okay, so there's a teacher, guru, or a teacher. I'll use the English word. So peer means teacher, and the teacher would stay along with his students. Students are called murid. Murid are students. Murid. Murid are students. Peer is the teacher. And where will the peer and the murid stay? They will stay in a place called Kanka. They will stay in a Kanka. What is a Kanka? It's a hospice. It's a hospice. Something like a hostel. So imagine this is a huge room. This is a huge room, right? It's a hall with pillars. You say these are the pillars. Imagine these are the pillars, right, of this hall. So these are the pillars in red color, whatever dots I have mentioned, I have marked here. These are the pillars. So the teacher will assign a place next to the pillar to each of his students. So for example, student number 1 will have this pillar. Student number 2 will keep his belongings and he will sleep next to that pillar. Number 3 will be here. Number 4 will be here. Number 5 will be here, etc. So that is called hospice, a kanka. So they will stay in a kanka along with their teacher, the students, whatever the teacher wants, the students will do for him. They will serve him in various ways. They will pray together. They will pray together. They will eat together, and they'll sleep together in that particular hall. Right now, the guru, that is the peer, will choose a student, will choose a disciple for him. He'll choose a successor for him among his students, among his murids. Who is the best student who can carry forward his teachings or tradition? So that particular successor is called wali. So the guru will choose a wali. Wali means successor. Do you understand? So the guru is called, the successor is called wali, and the wali is chosen by the teacher among his students. Now, among Sufi movements in India, we have two parts, two types of Sufi movements: Bashara and Beshara. What is Bashara? Bashara means bound by Islamic law. They were bound by Islamic law. And Beshara, not bound by Islamic law. Not bound by Islamic law. When I say Islamic law, I mean the Sharia. Now, among the Sufi saints, the most important ones who were of Beshara were Chistis, the Chisti and the Suravardi. Chisti and the Suharavardi. These are in fact, the two important movements, the two important orders of India, Chisti and Suravardi. Chisti and Suravardi, most important orders. And there are many of them, like Chisti, Qadri, Naqshbandi, Firdausi, Shattari, etc. Now, among these orders, the most important is the Chisti order. The Chisti order became very, very popular in India. Now, what is the reason as to why the Chisti order became very, very popular in India? Chisti order, most popular in India. Now, there are many reasons cited. One is, of course, the Chistis, they better understood Indian society. They better understood Indian society. Initially, the Chistis adopted many Hindu practices. Initially, Chistis adopted many Hindu practices. What are the Hindu practices they adopted? For example, shaving the head. Shaving the head. A new initiate into Chisti order had to shave his head. So that was a tradition in India, shaving the head. Then when somebody comes to your house, to talk to you, initially, what is the tradition in India? Generally, we give that person a glass of water, right? Even if it's a stranger, you ask that person whether you would like to have water. So giving water. So that is a tradition in India. They began to adopt that, giving water. Then they also shared Zamzam. You know what Zamzam? Zamzam is the holy water. I think anybody can help me here. Zamzam, who is a Muslim here? Zamzam is the holy water from Makkah, Medina, is it? Anybody is a Muslim here? Or they know what's Zamzam water? It's a holy water. Something like Ganga, you're right. Something like Ganga, Zamzam water, right? Zamzam? Nobody's here. Okay, so at Mecca, yeah, okay. So Zamzam water. So Zamzam water was distributed amongst the people. Then many of the Sufi saints practice yoga. They practice yoga. Like, for example, Nizamuddin Aulia was considered perfect at yoga. That's why he was called Siddh. He was called Siddh. Siddh means perfect because he knew very difficult yogic practices. So many of them performed yoga. So these are some of the aspects about Chistis. And please understand, Chistis voluntarily led a very poor life. That is, voluntarily preferred to be poor. Preferred to be poor. So and the kanka was open to everybody. Anybody could come inside a kanka and sit there. And if they're eating food, let's say some untouchable comes, a shudra comes, he's not allowed into a temple, but a shudra was welcome into a kanka. And if the teacher and the students are having their lunch or dinner, they'll offer food to that person, to the shudra. And what will the shudra think? That he is part of them. They are not discriminating him. They're not chasing him away from that place. So slowly, particularly in West Bengal, particularly in Bengal, many of the Shudras converted themselves to Islam because of this reason. Because there was no discrimination in the Kanka. Right. So Chistis voluntarily preferred to be poor. So let us say the king, so many of these kings, merchants, irrespective of which religion, irrespective of any religion, if they came to them, they will try to solve their problems. So rich and the mighty will come, narrate their problems to the Chisti saint, and they were considered to be intermediaries with God. So since they were considered to be intermediaries with God, and they led a very poor life, they were given a lot of respect by even the Hindus because they minded their business. They never interfered with politics or other people's religious affairs. They led a very poor life. They did not have proper dress also to wear, the Chisti saints, and they preferred to be like that because possessing wealth was supposedly equal to carrion, like a dead flesh. So therefore, they abhorred wealth. They abhorred wealth because abhorring is hating wealth. They abhorred wealth, which was considered to be equal to carrion. Carrion is dead meat. So therefore, they abhorred wealth, right? So they led a very, and then they gave solutions to the problems to these people, to the whoever came to them, and because of that reason, they were given a lot of respect, including by the Hindus. Right. So Chisti order became very, very popular. The oldest order is, of course, the Qadri order. The oldest order among the Sufi orders is the Qadri order. Now you take down some extra points. Please take down. Sufi is a common term given to Islamic mysticism. So tomorrow I'll be finishing the syllabus. Today I cannot finish the syllabus. Right. So I have music to do, then science and technology and education after this. So I have three topics: music, science and technology, education. Let's see where we can go till 8:15 today. But definitely tomorrow we'll have a class and finish it same time. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sakshi. According to internet, Zamzam is a well whose water is considered holy in Makkah. Okay. So one of my Muslim friends had given me Zamzam water long time back. So I submitted it, it remained in my mind. We'll come back here. Thank you for that, Sakshi. Okay. So let's take down some points, please. Take down some extra points. Sufi is the common term given to Islamic mysticism. Sufi is the common term given to Islamic mysticism. Common term given to Islamic mysticism. Sufis were organized into silsilas or orders. They were organized into silsilas. They were organized into silsilas or orders. Sufis accepted the prophethood of Islam. They accepted the prophethood. Accepted prophethood. They accepted prophethood of Islam, comma, the authority of the Quran, the authority of the Quran, the authority of the Quran, then, comma, ideas and practices of Christianity, ideas and practices of Christianity, comma, Neoplatonism, Zoroastrianism, Buddhism and Hindu Vedanta and Yoga. Buddhism, Hindu Vedanta and Yoga. Then you take down next line. Indian Sufis adopted number one, concept of a relationship. Indian Sufis adopted number one, concept of a relationship between God and soul. Concept of a relationship between God and soul. God and soul has one between the beloved and lover. Has one between the beloved and lover. Indian Sufis adopted number one, concept of a relationship between God and soul has one between the beloved and lover. Number two, pacifism and non-violence. Pacifism and non-violence. And number three, starving and torturing the body. Starving and torturing the body. Next paragraph. In their journey to achieve union with the Absolute, in their journey to achieve union with the Absolute is God, huh? To achieve union with the Absolute, comma, the Sufis believed that they had to pass through 10 stages. The Sufis believed that they had to pass through 10 stages. Like you remember when we did Jainism, before a person becomes a Tirthankara, he has to go through 4 previous stages, Sadhu, Upadhyay, Acharya, Arhat, and finally Tirthankara, like that. So the Sufis believed they had to pass through 10 stages, which were, number one, So what are the 10 stages? Number one, Tauba. Tauba. What is Tauba? Tauba, Tauba. This, Tauba, Tauba. Repentance. So Ankush repeats, okay. In their journey to achieve union with the absolute, the Sufis believed that they had to pass through 10 stages, which were number one, Tauba. Ankush, did you get me? Tauba means repentance. You're supposed to repent. If you've done something bad, you should repent. At least in your heart. You don't need to tell anybody, but you have to repent. मेरे को माफ करो. Tauba, repentance. Vara, abstinence. Abstinence. Abstaining from doing wrong. Vara. Number three, Zood. Zood is piety. Piety. Number four, Fagr. Poverty. Fagr. Then Sabr. Patience. Sabr, patience. There's one thing you should learn. Sabr, patience. It will help you save you from a lot of problems. Patience in life. Sabr, patience. Number six, sugar. Gratitude. Gratitude. Then cough. Cough is fear. Cough. Then raza. Number eight, raza. Hope. Then number nine, tawakkul. I'll write here. Number nine, tawakkul. What is tawakkul? Contentment. Tawakkul. Contentment. And number 10, Riza. Raza is hope. R-A-Z-A. R-A-J-A. Raja. Hope. Riza. Riza. Yeah, Sakshi. Yes. Sabr, Tauba, Shukr. Tauba is repentance. Yeah. Sabr is what? Sabr is patience. Shukr is gratitude. Very good. Then Riza. Submission to the divine will. Submission to the divine will. Which language are these terms in? I think it is Persian, I suppose. Tauba, Vara, Zood, Fagr, Sabr, Shukr. Or is it Hindi? Hindi to nahi hai. This is not Hindi, definitely. Urdu, probably. Urdu. Okay, Ankush says Urdu. Urdu may be the right language. Ankush, thank you. I think it is Urdu. Urdu, all right? Now let us come back here. You go for a break and come back now. It's already 7:04. So how much time you want? Break? Yeah, you go for a break and we'll come back and discuss. It's 7:05 on my watch. 7:15 is okay? 7:15? 10 minutes break. You go for a 10 minutes break and come back. 10 minutes break. Thank you. Okay. Good evening once again. Can we continue the class? So let us quickly go through the PPTs on Sufi movement. So Sufism, you see on your screen, saints who advocated a life of purity and renunciation. Renunciation is renouncing the world, that is taking sannyas. So one few more things I need to tell you. Just hold on. Before we proceed, take down few more points. Please take down few more points. The Sufis gave importance to education and earning. Please take that, please. Take down, please. It's okay, Meshak. You might access the recorded version if there's an electricity problem in your area from yesterday. So please take down. Sufis gave importance to education. They gave importance to education. This is very interesting. And earning. They recognize the dignity of labor. Then one more point. Sufis did not encourage celibacy. They did not encourage celibacy. What is celibacy? Staying single. So did not encourage celibacy and complete renunciation of the world. For attainment of spiritual personality. They did not encourage celibacy and complete renunciation of the world. For attainment of spiritual personality. Then one more point. Chishti and Suravardi orders. Chishti and Suravardi orders adopted Sama. And Raqs. Sama and Raqs. RAQS. That is audition and dancing as a mode of invocation to God. Invocation to God. Okay, right? Let me move on. Let's discuss these PPTs. So Sufis, they are Muslims, saints among Muslims who advocated a life of purity and renunciation. The word Sufi is from the word Suf, that is wool. And we have a doctrine. Sufism sprang out from this doctrine called Wahdatul Wujud. Wajud rather, unity of being. That means unity of being. That is, everybody is equal. No, all humans are equal. This was propounded by Ibn al-Arabi in the 12th, 13th century AD. So they believed in all these things, union of God, union with God, to be achieved through love of God, prayers, fasts, rituals, without reference to Hindu or Muslim. So they believed in all this, love of God, prayers, fasting, rituals, etc. Then they were organized into 12 orders or silsilas, though Abul Fazl gives us totally 14 orders. It was led by a mystic who lived in a kanka. Kanka is a hospice along with his disciples. The link between the peer is the teacher, right? And disciples are called murids, and they stayed in a kanka or a hospice. And the peer nominated a successor or a wali. Sufi orders divided into Bashara, those who followed Islamic law, Beshara, those who were not bound by it, right? And among the Beshara movement, the most important are Chisti and Suravardi silsilas. Now, who are Sajada Nasheens? This is from newspaper. Sajada Nasheens, they are descendants of Sufi saints who administer Sufi shrines everywhere. Now, what's a dargah? Dargah is a place, you all know what's a dargah, I'm sure. Dargah. This is the tomb of a Sufi saint. Tomb of a Sufi saint is called a dargah. Tomb of a Sufi saint is called a dargah, right? And please understand, traditional Muslims don't believe in sainthood. They don't believe in a saint. They don't go to a dargah. The traditional Muslims, they feel that they don't require a via media to realize God or Allah. They say we will pray to God, Allah, and He will give us whatever we want, including blessings. We don't need to go through a saint. So traditional Muslims even now don't visit a dargah. But of course, dargah is visited by not only Muslims, many Muslims, but also by Hindus and other communities. I think inside the dargah, where the tomb is there, women are not allowed. They may be allowed outside the dargah. Am I right? Ajmer Sharif is a tomb of Sheikh Muinuddin Chishti, right? That's right. So, where the mazar is there, mazar is where the tomb of the saint is there, where he has been buried, the grave. There, women are not allowed. Yeah, no women are allowed. Okay. So we'll move on here. Chishti Silsila. So here, all the founders of these silsilas were outsiders. Their students came to India and they introduced these orders in India. For example, we have Khwaja Abd al-Chisti of Herat. So he was the founder of the Chisti Silsila. One of his students, Khwaja Muinuddin Chisti, he came to India. He arrived in Lahore in 1161 and then he comes to Ajmer around 1206. And Ajmer became his headquarters. Amir Khusro, legendary poet and musician, belonged to this order. Amir Khusro belonged to this order, Chisti order. Then Amir Khusro was in, you see, he was given the title of Tute Hind by Alauddin Khalji, more of a poet than a historian. So important Chisti Sufi saints, who are all followers of Khwaja Muinuddin Chisti. I have given the list here: Sheikh Hamiduddin Nagori, Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki, then Baba Farid, the Nizamuddin Aulia, Nasiruddin Chiragi Delhi, then Syed Muhammad Ghesudaraz of Gulbarga. So these are the important Chisti saints. So important ones we'll discuss here: Sheikh Hamiduddin Nagori, Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiar Kaki. In his memory, Qutub Minar was built by Iltutmish. So foundation was laid by Aibak and completed by Iltutmish, as you know. So he was a Chisti saint. Then Baba Fariduddin Ganji Shikar, also called Baba Farid. He built his Kanka at Ajodan in Punjab. Kanka is a hospice, and he is the first great Punjabi poet of Sufism. Baba Fariduddin Ganji Shikar, also called Baba Farid, first great Punjabi poet of Sufism. Remember such things, please. And Nizamuddin Aulia, famous Chisti saint, generally called Mehboobi Ilahi, beloved of the God. Beloved of the God, Nizamuddin Aulia. And Nizamuddin Aulia saw the rule of 7 Delhi Sultans. We have seen this. His tomb was built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, isn't it? Tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia, built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq in Delhi. I have visited this dargah here when I was in Delhi, Nizamuddin Aulia's dargah. So very true saint, very, very true saint. Then Nasruddin Chiragi Delhi or Lamp of Delhi. Then Syed Mahmud Muhammad Gesudara. So he came all the way from Delhi to South India when Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Gesudaras. He never went back to Delhi. He stayed back in South, and Gulbarga became his headquarters. Gulbarga in Karnataka. We have his dargah there. He has been buried in the Gulbarga. Syed Muhammad Gesudaras, popularly called Banda Nawaz, the benefactor of the God's creatures, I believe. He authored about 30 books on Sufism. And Sufis made themselves popular by adopting musical recitation called Sama to create mood of nearness to God. So they would dance, they would sing together, they would dance, something like bhajan, you know. So when you have a group singing bhajan, so that leads to sort of an ecstasy, a happiness, and also mood of nearness to God. So that is called sama banneka, you know, as it is called, sama banneka. So they would adopt musical recitation called sama, create mood of nearness to God. Not Kavali, Shriza. It's not Kavali. Kavali is where you have two teams. Two teams are doing Kavali. There's no teamwork here. They're all singing and dancing in praise of God. So it's more of musical ecstasy, happiness. Then I've given you a small note on importance, role of Sufis in the Deccan. You just go through it, nothing great about it, just about the influence of Sufism in the Deccan. So we have a syncretic culture in parts of the Deccan where you have many Hindus also go to dargahs and pray there. A lot of tolerance is there in places like Gulbarga, Bijapur, etc., parts of Karnataka. So this is because of the Sufis. Then we have the Suravardi Silsila. You know, Suravardis, Chistis purposely led a very frugal life, very poor life. Though wealth was given to them, they would reject. But Suravardis believed that it is good to have wealth because if you have wealth, you can help a lot of people. And the Suravardi saints, many of them held important positions in the government, particularly in the ecclesiastical department, in the religious department. I'll just talk about it. Just hold on. I'll make you right. So founder was Sheikh Shahabuddin Umar Suravardi. So he wrote Awarif ul Marif. He wrote Awarif ul Marif, founder of the Suravardi Silsila, Sheikh Shahabuddin Umar Suravardi, represented in India by Sheikh Bahauddin Zikri of Multan, Sheikh Bahauddin Zikri of Multan, and Sheikh Jalal Tabrizi of Lucknow. So these are the two representatives of the Suravardi Silsila. Became popular in some parts of India like Punjab, Sindh, Kashmir, parts of Bengal, and reached its zenith under Sheikh Ruknuddin. Main center was Multan, where they had their kanka. And saints of this order had big jagirs and had close contact with the state. So they led a very rich life. Suravardi saints, please take down, um, led a rich life, led a rich life, and many of them held important positions. Many of them held important positions in the government, particularly in the ecclesiastical department. In the religious, that is religious department. Ecclesiastical is religious. Right? This is Suravardi Silsila. Sakshi, I have not understood what is this Katalin, Kavali. Hello? Can you please explain what you are trying to tell me? Sakshi. Okay. Then we come to Firdausi Silsila. So remember the founder, important saints of that order. They might ask you match the following. This saint belongs to which order, or they might already match and ask you the right match or the wrong match. So they can ask you that way if they want to ask you that is. So founder Badruddin of Samarkand, of the Firdausi Silsila, Sheikh Badruddin of Samarkand, first established in Delhi and later it moved to Bihar. Sheikh Shamsuddin Yahya Munair, most distinguished saint of this order, believed in pantheistic monism. Kavali, Sakshi, Kavali is, don't worry about it. Kavali is more, you can see it in Hindi movies. Kavali is more of a competition, singing competition between two teams. I think there are about 7 or 8 of them in each team, and then they will sing and compete with each other. So Suravardi Silsila, yeah? Bhimare. Then we come to Firdausi. Firdausi Silsila. Then we have the Shattari Silsila. On your screen, Shattaris. Introduced by Shah Abdul Shattari. Became popular in Malwa, Jaunpur, Bengal. So these are the eminent saints of this particular Silsila. Sheikh Muhammad Alash Kadin from Bengal. Sheikh Hafiz from Jaunpur. Sheikh Muhammad Gaut from Gwalior. Akbar's musician Tansen belonged to this order. So such things you remember, please. Shattari Silsila. So Tansen, Akbar's famous musician, Tansen belonged to the Shattari Silsila. Then we move to Qadri Silsila. This is the oldest of the lot, oldest Silsila. Or rather, I would say earliest Silsila. Put that way. Earliest Silsila is this, Qadri Silsila. Earliest Silsila. Earliest Silsila, Qadri Silsila. Founder was Syed Abdul Qadir Al-Jilani or Pir Dastagir. Syed Abdul Qadir Al-Jilani. Then Shah Niyamatullah Qadri, first notable saint of this order to enter India. Shah Niyamatullah Qadri. Syed Makhdoom Muhammad Jilani organized it on an effective basis. Miyamir, most popular Sufi saint of the Qadri order was Miyamir. Dara Shikoh, such things you remember please. Dara Shikoh, elder son of Shah Jahan, was a follower of this order. So he belonged to the Qadri order. Dara Shikoh, elder son of Shah Jahan. Famous Urdu poets, Hasrat Mohani, Muhammad Iqbal, who wrote Sare Jahan Se Acha, they belong to this order. Famous Urdu poets, Hasrat Mohani, Muhammad Iqbal. No, they never wanted to reform Vedic religion. Basically, they wanted to, it is more of, tempering Islam. You can call it as tempering Islam. Instead of strictly following the traditional methods of Islam, it's more of giving emphasis on the mystical aspect of Islam. The mystical aspect was given more importance, right? Meditation, prayers, expressing your love to God through rituals, through singing, dancing, etc. Particularly the Chistis. I'm not very sure about AH. I think it is Hijri. Is it? Is it Hijri era? AH. Just Google and find out what is AH. That is, AH stands for Latin Anno Hijre, year of the Hijra. Year of Hijra. Year of Hijra. Year of the Hijra. First day of the year one of the Islamic calendar. First day of the year one of the Islamic calendar. Year of Hijra, AH. Okay. Then Naqshbandi Silsila. Naqshbandi Silsila. Khwaja Baqi Billah introduced this Silsila during Akbar's reign. Khwaja Baqi Billah. Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi. Shah Waliullah of Delhi. Shah Ghulam Ali Syed Ahmad of Ray Bereli. They're some of the great Sufis of this order. So Sheikh Ahmad Sarindi, remember, was imprisoned briefly by Jahangir because he opposed all the practices of Akbar. Sheikh Ahmad Sarindi opposed all the practices of Akbar, like abolition of jizya, abolition of pilgrim tax, and he claimed a status superior to that of the Prophet. So Sheikh Ahmad Sarindi was temporarily imprisoned by Jahangir. Then Mirza Mazhar Janne Janan and Mir, they're the famous Sufi poets of this order. So I've given you info. It is difficult to remember these names, but the only way is probably to make cue cards and keep on revising them. That's the only way to remember. Then Mehdavi movement, founded by Syed Muhammad Mahdi of Jaunpur, who concentrated on his energies on regeneration of people, I believe. So these are some of the movements: Roshani movement, Mehdavi movement. So what is the achievement of the Sufi and Bhakti movements? They influenced each other, inherited from each other. Bhaktism reformed Hinduism, Sufism liberalized Islam. Both put brakes on orthodoxy. Both encouraged social reform measures. Atmosphere of interreligious fraternity was created. Hindus and Muslims reconciled. Development of regional languages. A cultural synthesis took place under Akbar, which transformed a Muslim rule in India into a national government under Akbar. So these are the achievements of the Sufi and Bhakti movements. Now look at this question here, please. 2014 question. Sufis and medieval mystic saints failed to modify either the religious ideas and practices or the outward structure of Hindu-Muslim societies to any appreciable extent. Comment. 200 words. Yeah, Aurangzeb was a follower of the Naqshbandi order. You're right, Krishna. He was follower of the Naqshbandi order. Aurangzeb, follower of the Naqshbandi order. Correct. So, you see, Sufis and medieval mystic saints failed to modify either the religious ideas and practices or the outward structure of Hindu-Muslim societies to any appreciable extent. Comment. So, what is the reason? Of course, um, they criticized many of the corruptions in the society and religion, but they could not modify it. Why? Because number one is because of their nomadic nature. So basically, they were nomadic in nature, going from one place to another place, and therefore, whatever they thought, their teachings could not last because they were always on the move. Number two is they could not establish a regular institution. Okay, after their demise, so did not establish a regular institution. Therefore, their teachings could not be continued forward. Third is um, uh, so one is of course nomadic nature. They did not establish regular institution, and then they criticized many of the reforms. They criticized many of the corruptions. Criticized corruptions in society and religion, but they did not give an alternative. Right? It is easy to criticize, but having criticized, they should have given an alternative. They did not do so. To criticize corruptions in society and religion, but did not provide an alternative. But did not provide an alternative. And number four is many of these saints, okay, belong to the lower orders. They belong to the lower caste. Belong to lower caste. And when they criticized these corruptions, they could not bring about changes in the society and religion because nobody took them seriously, right? So since they belong to the lower caste, obviously they'll criticize all these corruptions in our society and religion. But then they could not bring about a structural transformation in the society or in the religion because you have the domination, obviously, in the society and religion of the superior caste, the upper caste, the so-called upper caste. So therefore, uh, you know, uh, they could not bring about much changes in the society and religion. This is the gist of the answer. Please refer to my what do you call model answer. It is there in that. Yeah, huge division within themselves. Um that could be one of the reasons you can cite. Okay, so this is about um, Sufi Bhakti and Sufi movement. Then we go to the next topic, another half an hour before we go for a break, before we before the webinar. So we have another 20, half an hour to go. Let's discuss this in whatever time we have. Science and technology in ancient India. Now look here, science and technology in ancient India again is an important topic, right? Now what I have done is I have covered science and technology in ancient India. In the PPTs, only science and technology in ancient India is there. For medieval India, look here, for modern India, either way you will be studying as part of science and technology. For medieval India, I want you people to refer to this book. Because last year, UPSC asked a question about science and technology during the Delhi Sultanate period. You see here, this is the book. I brought it along with me to show you. Okay, I know it's not, it may not be very clearly visible to you, but please take down the name of this book. You see how they have given, I'll tell you. You look here on your screen, I'll give you the name of the book. So this book is Medieval India, A Study of a Civilization. Please take down. Medieval India, The Study of a Civilization. The Study of a Civilization. This is by Irfan Habib. And what I have with me, this is a publication published by National Book Trust. Publisher is NBT. It's an NBT book, National Book Trust book, NBT publication. Now, whatever book I have is a 2007 edition. This is a 2007 edition, old edition I have. But nevertheless, it solves the problem. It solves the the topic very beautifully. You might pick up the latest edition if you want to. But look here, I'll just tell you how it is structured. This particular book, when you look at the contents, we have early medieval India, 600 to 1200. Indian feudalism is discussed. Then technology in early medieval India, science, religion, literature, art. Then second chapter, India under the Sultanates. Under this, we have polity, economy, society, technology, science and learning, religion, literature, art. Then Mughal India, same way. Mughal Empire, economy, social structure, religion, science and technology, literature, fine arts, living in Mughal times. This is a very beautiful book, right? And this is how it has been made, topic-wise, science, technology, religion, literature, art, under the Sultanates, Mughals, early medieval India. So that's how they are given. Now, whatever question was asked by the UPSC last year about development of technology, science and technology in Delhi Sultanate period, the answer to that is found in this book. From just one book, you can write the answer. And it's a very nice book. So, for science and technology of medieval India, just refer to this book. I'm sure in Nitin Singhania's book also there will be information about science and technology. If it is not there, refer to this book. Did you get me that? Webinar, I'll not take much time. I have shortlisted about 6-7 topics. I'll discuss about it. What last month, 1 month, whatever important I felt from the exam point of view. I might have missed a few topics, I don't know, but I have been pretty diligent about trying to look at topics from the exam point of view. Yeah. See, Ankush, they are asking a general question. They are asking, Ankush, they are asking Sufis and medieval mystic saints. So, obviously, mystic saints, most of them belong to the lower caste. And whatever they condemned did not have much impact on the society because the society and religion were dominated by the upper caste. Okay, so therefore, their message could not bring about a revolution in the society or religion. I'm coming to Science and Technology in Ancient India. Coming there. Name of the book, Medieval India, The Study of a Civilization by Irfan Habib. Okay, so we'll come back here. Let us look at the survey of this on your screen. So in ancient India, ancient Indians give a lot of importance to science and technology, observation, experimentation, right? Analysis. So all these subjects were given importance. Mathematics on your screen. Mathematics, astronomy, astrology, physics, chemistry, metallurgy. They made the great progress in ancient India. So first of all, we will discuss about mathematics and astronomy. Ganita Shastra is a science of mathematics. So in Harappan period, you remember we have vertical alignment of streets, 90-degree angle. Roads ran from north to south, east to west, dividing the city into square or rectangular blocks. So you have a 90-degree angle in which the streets cut each other across. So they might have used a plumb bob. So to get the wall straight 90 degrees straight, Harappans might have used a plumb bob. Okay, then and also they gave a lot of importance to health and hygiene, cleanliness. Then astronomy made great progress in ancient India. What is the reason for astronomy being being given a lot of importance for various reasons? One is for agricultural operations. So when the sowing has to take place, only to the movement of the planets and the stars, they would be able to predict whether the weather will be conducive for sowing the seeds. That is number one. Number two, for sacrifices. In the Vedic period, sacrifices are performed in the open air, and they're required to know about astronomy or study of the movement of the planets to find out whether it is apt to do sacrifices in the open air. Thirdly, because of deep sea navigation, you have Indians trading extensively via the oceans, via the sea, and they required the knowledge of astronomy to study the movement of the stars in the night sky so that they are able to sail comfortably. So, for all these reasons, and of course, again, planets came to be regarded as gods. Planets were considered to be gods like Surya, Chandra, Rahu, Ketu, etc. Therefore, they were also studied for that reasons. So planets were regarded as gods. It was necessary to know the proper time for commencing and ending sacrifices. For agricultural activities, it was necessary to study astronomy, and also for deep sea navigation. And it was Hippolytus who discovered the monsoon winds. We have seen this, an Egyptian Greek sailor called Hippolytus. And the word monsoon comes from the Arabic word mosin. Right? Then we have Fahian, who came during the Gupta period, the first Chinese traveler to come to India. He talks about Indians having knowledge of astronomy. So he says the shipmen used to travel in the night sky, by looking at the movement of the planets. So the movement of the stars rather. So they would know the direction by the position of the stars, and in the daytime by the sun. So by marking the position of the stars, they would travel in the night. That's according to Fahian. Then this is about astronomy. In the field of mathematics, what are the contribution of the Indians? We have notation system, decimal system, use of zero. So Indian notation system was adopted by the Arabs, and they were the ones who took it to the Western world. Indian numerals are called Arabic numerals, whereas the Arabs themselves called Indian numerals as Hindsa. So Indian numerals were called Arabic numerals in English, but then the Arabs themselves called as Hindsa. Then we have Indian decimal system, which was actually developed by the Buddhists. And the Chinese learned it through the Buddhist missionaries. And the whole world came to know through the Arabs. Zero was invented in India. Zero. Supposedly Aryabhatta was the inventor of the zero. And it was considered to be a separate numeral in India. Zero was a separate numeral. Then Indians, along with the Greeks, also contributed towards algebra. So, and of course, geometry. We have Apastamba who produced a practical geometry. That is, knowledge of geometry was required to know the alignment of the Havan or the Yagna Kund, where the sacrifices used to take place. Therefore, so we have practical geometry required to construct altars, fire altars, where the sacrifices took place. So we have a reference to acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, like that. Then during the Gupta period, we have great astronomers, mathematicians, astrologers like Aryabhatta, Varahamihira, Brahmagupta. Right? So what is the contribution of Aryabhatta? So Aryabhatta was the person who gave the heliocentric theory. That is the sun is the center of the universe and the planets revolve around the sun. That the earth revolves around its axis. Then he gave the true cause of lunar and solar eclipses. He was the one who gave the theory of zero, the concept of zero. Then he calculated pi, which is calculated pi. So pi is has 3.1416, and then he also calculated the length of the solar year, which is very near to the modern estimation. So this is Aryabhata's contribution, right? And then we have Varahamihira. Varahamihira divided astronomy into three parts. That is astronomy, astrology, and horoscopy. And Varahamihira gave importance to astrology. He wrote a number of books: Brihat Samhita, Yoga Yatra, Samasa Samhita, Pancha Siddhantika. These are the various books written by Varahamihira. Then we have physics. So what is the contribution of the ancients towards physics? So they developed the atomic theory, that is anus. So there are certain particles which cannot be further subdivided in this universe. And atoms were called anus by the ancient Indians. We have people like Kapila, who gave the theory of Sankhya philosophy, and Kanada, who gave the Vaisheshika philosophy. So in these two philosophies, they speak about atoms, right? Then you have Brahmagupta, who anticipated Newton by talking about gravitation. So he said it is the nature of the earth to attract and keep things to itself. In other words, he was referring to gravitation. Therefore, Brahmagupta is called Indian Einstein. Brahmagupta is called Indian Einstein. Indian Einstein. Right? So, sorry, Indian Newton. I'm sorry, Indian Newton. Indian Newton. And he wrote Surya Siddhanta. Then we have chemistry. Chemistry also made great progress in India because of various reasons. One is chemistry was treated as alchemy, right? And it was also used as a handmaid of medicine. We have great chemists of India like Patanjali and Nagarjuna. And Al-Biruni speaks highly of Nagarjuna. He was a contemporary of Kanishka. So Al-Biruni, who came to India along with Mahmud Ghazni, gave a tribute to the genius of Nagarjuna. He calls him as a great chemist. Then Al-Biruni also tells us about a number of apparatuses used by Indians. In his, Kitabul Hind or Tehqiq Hind, Al-Biruni talks about a number of chemistry apparatuses like Dola Yantra. You see this? Dola Yantra. For extracting by suspending the substance in steam. Svedani Yantra. Then Vidyadhara Yantra, Dhupa Yantra. These are all apparatuses used by Indian chemists. Then chemistry also was encouraged for dyeing purpose, dyeing of cloth. So Indians used to export clothes, textiles to various parts of the world, and they were dyed with various types of colors. So Indian textile industry, progressed because of, again, knowledge of chemistry. Printed and dyed cloth were produced and exported to various parts of the world, and we have evidence of the genius of the Indian chemists because many of the colors which were developed by them still remain. For example, in the caves of Ajanta, we have colors still existing. So we have Indians who are great experts in dyeing and making various kinds of colors. Then we have also metallurgy, which was encouraged by the ancients. We have Indians were great metallurgists. The best quality iron, the best quality copper belongs to the Gupta period. So we have bronze images of the Buddha found at Sultanganj and Didarganj. Indians were the first to develop steel. They were the first to develop steel. Steel was called woos. Steel was called woos. And Indian steel swords were in demand. You see, Indian steel swords were in demand in various parts of the world, including in the Western countries. So what was the technique used to make swords in India in ancient times? Steel swords. You see, imagine this, you have a rod, you have a steel rod. Okay, imagine this is a steel rod, right? This is a steel rod. Now, the sword maker, what will he do? He will beat the steel rod and flatten it. So when he flattens it, it becomes like this. right? It becomes like this, right? So this is one, this is two. Then what will he do? He will bend the flattened rod like this. You see, he'll bend it like this, and then he'll again beat it. So he'll come back to process two, where he'll again beat it and make it flat. Then again he'll bend it. He'll go to process three, and again he'll beat it. So this was repeated hundreds of times. So what happens is the steel rod has layers. Layer after a thin layers are formed, and then the steel was fabricated. The sword was fabricated out of that type of steel, beaten up steel. So it has got layers and layers of steel. And such a type of sword is supposed to be much stronger than just a simple single rod of steel. Did you understand what I just now told you? Did you get me that? I believe when they used to use spacecrafts, we have abandoned spacecrafts which used to go to space and again come back and again go and come back. So they used to use the same space capsule. Say, space capsules are made like this. It's not just one single sheet of metal. It is layer and layer of metals which give protection to the craft. Even the aeroplanes, planes are made like that, which has got layer and layers of steel to give extra protection, right? Yeah, Nagarjuna is Indian Asian. Thank you, Ankush. So so Indians were very famous in making steels, the steel swords, and they were in demand also in Europe. You see that the movie, Bahubali movie, that fellow comes, sword merchant comes and the Katappa, makes, he spoils that sword which that person had come to sell it to him. Got it? So remember that. So Indians were famous for sword, so steel swords, right? And then of course the best quality iron was made by the Gupta period. During the Gupta period, we have the iron pillar at Mehroli, 23 feet high, and even after more than 1,500 years, you hardly see a trace of rust on it. So the best quality iron, the best quality copper was made by the ancient Indians. Then of course we have medicine also, which was given importance. Harappans gave a lot of importance to health and hygiene. Every house had a toilet, every house had a well. In the excavations, we have found Silajit. Silajit to cure liver diseases. Yeah, but Shilajit is also considered to be an aphrodisiac. So Harappans might have used Shilajit as an aphrodisiac, and also to cure liver diseases, right? Then Atharva Veda, I believe, gives refers to some herbs and metals. And the Rig Veda, in the Rig Veda, we have reference to a physician, the son of a physician. So knowledge of medicine was known to the ancient Indians. Charaka and Shushruta were the great doctors of those days, Ayurvedic doctors. Charaka was a physician, a contemporary of Kanishka. And Charaka talks about a number of different types of fevers, leprosy, hysteria, tuberculosis. He wrote Charaka Samhita, Charaka. Then Shushruta wrote Shushruta Samhita. He was a surgeon. Shushruta was a surgeon, whereas Charaka was a physician. Charaka was a physician. And Shushruta mentions about various surgery tools. As many as 121 implements are used in operations. So Shushruta makes a mention of that. And then generally in India, as part of Ayurveda, disease, it was told, was caused by the imbalance of three things. That is bile, air, and phlegm. That is what is called, you know, uh, uh, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. You remember, if you have seen, your grandparents might be knowing, or your parents might be knowing, if you're referring to a Vedic doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, he will check your Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. That is air, bile, phlegm. So diseases are caused basically if there's imbalance in all these three things. That's what the ancients believed. Ankush says, sir, I heard Shushrata could do operation without cutting or using scissors. Um, is it? Um, I don't know what to say, Ankush. but I don't know where you have come, where you have read this. Um, hmm. Those days, laser surgery was not there. So you can do eye operation nowadays with laser surgery without any cutting and all that. I can remember that. I can understand that. But Shushita did operations without cutting and using scissors. I have my own doubts. You're sure, Ankush? You're sure? Okay, fine. You give us a proof where you have read this. Okay, you know you please refer to the email. Shushruta invented plastic surgery but did not perform it. Okay, fine. I don't know. You're reading more books than me, I suppose, about these things. So definitely you will know better than me. But then I should be an authentic source. If it's a standard textbook and it is there, then it should be true, right? So we have seen. You remember? I have shown you a picture. Harappan period. You have what you call. Um, where the hole was made in the skull by the Harappan doctor. What is it called? What is it called? I forget the name. So you have evidence of surgery even during those days in Harappan period. Um, Tiffany, it starts with T. I forget the name. I forget the name. Anyway, we'll come back here. Then we have also Indians advocating oral administration of mineral preparations like mercury. Charka, Shishwata, Nagabhatta speak about internal consumption of minerals and salts. So even before Europeans used to consume salts and minerals to cure or to increase the resistance to diseases, we have that particular what you call advancement in India, oral administration of minerals, including salts and minerals, right? Then we have Gupta age witnessing remarkable development in general medicine. Vag Bhattaradhya wrote Ashtanga Hridaya. It deals with medical, physical, surgical importance of the 8 limbs in a human body. Then we also have detailed work on veterinary science. So Indians knew how to cure diseases of horses and elephants. These animals were used in war, obviously, and also to transport goods. So therefore, they could cure horses and elephants. Their bodies were also studied for them to understand what medicines will work upon them. Then Fahayan tells us that rich people into the Gupta period used to have houses, some houses where their doors were open to give them medicines, free medicines, and also give medical attention to them. So rich people dispense charity and medicines, according to Hyun Sang. And at Patliputra, you have a number of charitable institutions, including a free hospital. Right. So Greeks and Romans were familiar with Indian medical systems. We have a Greek botanist, Theophrastus. So he used Indian herbal knowledge to cure diseases in ancient Greece. And Indian medical knowledge also traveled westwards. We have a doctor from Persia. He came all the way to India to learn advanced medical knowledge. A Persian doctor came to India in 600 AD, right? But then in ancient India, further progress of the sciences was checked. So Indians could not further their progress in sciences. What is the reason? Mainly, the main reason is Indians did not want to share their knowledge. Whatever knowledge they had, they did not want to share it with anybody, including their own people. So therefore, it was lost along with them. And secondly, they were not bothered about what was happening in the outside world. So, therefore, so Al-Birunun makes a mention of it. Totally isolated. Indians were totally isolated, at least in the 11th century. They did not want to learn anything from outsiders, and they did not want to disclose their knowledge to outsiders. So, therefore, many of the knowledge was lost along with them. And of course, we have the blind faith and religion of many of these scientists. So, they were influenced by their own religion and blind faith, and they refused to share their knowledge with anybody. So, that is the reason why many of the knowledge gained by the ancients remained in ancient India. It has not been transferred to later times. So this is about ancient India science and technology, astronomy, astrology, mathematics, physics, chemistry, medicine, botany, metallurgy, etc. Okay, so this is about it, right? So triphination. Thank you, Priyanka. Triphination. That was the word I was looking for. Triphination. So triphination. So this was practiced by the Harappans. Triphination to cure migraine diseases, headaches, etc. Triphination. Right. So this is about science and technology. I think I'll stop here. We'll go for a break. Maybe about 5 minutes early, 7 minutes early. I'm giving. We'll have a webinar at 8:30 tomorrow. We will do science and education. You see, education is there. So education, and then music, Indian music, education in ancient and medieval India. So we will talk about it tomorrow, right? And we will do music. But then, music is a topic which is not my cup of tea. Let me be very frank. But then I have collected the best of material. Music, the technical aspects of music, sa re ga ma pa da ni, is not my cup of tea. But then we will try to understand what the UPSC expects from a UPSC candidate, general candidate, a general knowledge of music. So we will make a survey of Indian music, and then education in ancient and medieval India. Education in modern India, please refer to Spectrum by Rajiv Ahir. So education in before 1857, after 1857. So we will speak about it tomorrow. Education in music. Okay, so we will stop here. We will wait for the webinar at 8:30. You can please have your dinner and come, and I'll also refresh, and then we will audio for please use audio for better understanding of music. Or no, I'm not going to make any musical sounds here, Sakshi. It's only as officers, musicians, singers, artists. No, whatever is important from the UPSC point of view, history of music, anatomy of music, saragama, no, tala, raga, such things. But then it's not my cup of tea. I hate that topic. That's why I've kept it in the last. But anyway, when we discuss the PPTs, we will try to understand it. I'm sure some of you may be interested in music. Okay. Okay, carry on. You will come back at 8:30. We'll meet at 8:30 for the webinar. Huh? I'll not take much time. It is a short webinar, about maybe 1 hour. I should finish it. I have shortlisted about 7 topics from the last 1 month, from the last webinar to this webinar, important events, which I felt may be relevant from the exam point of view or from social issues point of view also. So we'll discuss that. Okay, carry on. Okay, thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, 5 o'clock. But then we'll meet at 8:30 for the webinar. I'm logging out.